from flesh to steel. I think being in Pittsburgh, knowing that it's the dirt under the fingernails, the hard hat, going to work every day, makes us go out and prepare every day the same way. We know that we are Pittsburgh. People that have been here before us, the players, they have carved and given us a path to follow. And it's unbelievable to try and follow in their shoes. It's an honor to be playing in a place like Pittsburgh. My best weapon on the field, probably my arm. I love to get out of the pocket and use my legs, but I'd much rather throw the ball than run the ball.
He's going to heave it down the near sideline. Touchdown, Pittsburgh!
The quarterback position, no matter if it's before a big play, a drive, whatever it is, you have to be able to almost have that ice water running through your veins. It's unbelievable the amount of intensity that there is being a quarterback in the NFL. So much pressure, people watching, you know, the team, the fans, the media, other players. It's unbelievable the pressure and the intensity that you have. All eyes are on you. The lights are on, the cameras, and it's just an amazing feeling.
Another miraculous escape from Houdini.
When I'm done playing, I hope people mention me in the same breath as the greats that have ever played the game. I'd love to be considered as one of the greatest to ever play the quarterback position.
Well, they certainly already will mention him as being one of the there. Let's bring in our senator from Utah, Steve Young. And Steve, I know it pays you just to watch the beating that sometimes Big Ben takes, although he stands there. What's it like for a quarterback to know what's coming and take that kind of pounding and still try to deliver?
Well, the problem is that you start to see ghosts because you get hit from behind. Ben's got to take in a lot of blindside shots. And so what happens, human nature, you drop back, you take the shot. The next time you get hit after you've thrown the ball. The next time you actually protected, and now you start to run or move, even though the play hasn't fully developed, and you've lost the ability to make a play on that, you know, in the time of that play, in the course of the concert of that play, you've lost it. So that's what happens to Ben Roethlisberger. He's got to be careful that not only is he getting knocked down, but he's missing opportunities because he's still feeling like he's going to get knocked down. That's the toughest thing, Keyshawn. You wouldn't know anything about that playing receiver, that's for sure.
Well, I think you would know better than me as a quarterback taking those poundings because I was a tough wide receiver. But I think when you look at, fellas, when you look at the situation with Ben Roethlisberger, I don't really care about this year. That's not really my concern because I believe, you know, over the course of his career, he's played an average probably of 13, 14 games. So it's the longevity. You're talking about a guy that's sacked an awful lot. You know, he's sacked, I think it's something like over the last 37 games or so, 116 sacks. That's a lot of pounding.
Can't watch tonight's game until you watch Field Pass, or else you're going to get the last little nuggets of 4-1-1. All right, we start with you, Steve Young. Ben Roethlisberger sacked 5 times last week. How does he remain upright tonight?
Well, I think it's all about the offensive line. They've got a tremendous amount of pressure on them. They've had a lot of juggling there. Ben has to figure out also how to get the ball out of his hand quicker. Coach Dick had talked about it. You've got to find those quicker routes. I don't know how many Pittsburgh really has, but it's not that hard to throw the slant, take a 3-step drop, and get the ball out. To give Ben a chance to get the ball out of his hands, because when he does, he's accurate and one of the best in the game.
Steve, Stu, across the way would be Jason Campbell and Chris. The relationship of head coach Jim Zorn and Jason Campbell, the quarterback, well, that's worked right away, hasn't it?
It's probably the number one thing that Jason Campbell has taken advantage of, Boom, in the first year with Jim Zorn. It's been well documented throughout his career, all the different coordinators. This kid is a smart football player. The best football he plays in the fourth quarter. 14-14 there as a starter. Passing rating off the charts in the fourth quarter of 122. Completing 70% of his passes in the fourth quarter. Hey, guys, don't goes on.
Mendenhall, the rookie, is out. Willie Parker Parker back after missing 4 games. Emmitt Smith, how do you ease yourself in when your team needs you to be full strength immediately?
Well, in Willie Parker's case, he's not going to ease himself back in. The Pittsburgh Steelers planning on having Willie Parker involved in the game plan tonight, somewhere around 30 to 40 times a game tonight. And so with Willie Parker, we'll bring to this offense a lot of stability in the run game, and also it would open up the play-action pass for Big Ben to throw the ball deep. Willie should have a decent game tonight. The Steelers will try to pound the ball a little bit and use play-action to win this game.
Emmett, I know you like the way Clinton Portis carries the football. Key, I mean, the only guy that could have stopped him on that virtual playbook was Tom. He just hits the hole, doesn't he?
And Tom missed the tackle. That's what they're going to look for tonight with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think when you look at him at the running back position tonight, he can help this young quarterback out, Jason Campbell, running the football effectively against this #1 defense, some play action, mix things up. He's a big, big help in this running game. I don't want to see Sean Alexander. I want to see Quentin Portis.
Tommy, in talking to our old compatriot, once upon a time he was with us, white shirt Vinny. Vinny Serrano, the vice president of Skins, told me before the season, get ready for a breakout year for Santana Moss. Hello.
Yeah, he's playing the best ball of his career. 9 career games with 140-plus receiving yards, 3 of them this year. Game breaker from anywhere on the football field. Hard to hit him coming off the line of scrimmage. He's good against any coverage, can get deep against any coverage, and when he's healthy, one of the top 4 or 5 receivers in this league.
Coach, I know the way you like to play football, and Hines Ward could have played for any one of your teams.
Well, contrary to what Keyshawn says, I like everything about this guy. He's not tall, he's not fast, he's just one hell of a football player. He's going to bring it every day, every game, every play.
How about downfield blocking? Pretty good, huh?
No, be careful. He's going to get key.
And Tommy, I know you like those linebackers that move. At Pittsburgh, once at James Harrison. Hello.
Well, I understand his game. He's got that low center of gravity. He's like a fire hydrant. Can get up under pads, so even though, you know, he's under 6 feet tall, he's got that ability to not only speed rush, but power rush outside. His motor is on all the time. He's going to give their left tackle a difficult time tonight.
Looks like our partner.
Tiny Tom Jackson.
Tiny Tom.
This is a good game tonight. We've done it all except cast our vote for the winner of tonight's game. Is there going to be a landslide for one team, or we split ballots? We'll be back.
You are watching Monday Night Countdown, delivered by UPS.
Take a look at who will win. Now, it's always interesting to see the dissenting states, okay? So the Steelers have 42 states. We have a couple. Maryland are going with the Redskins. Alabama, Jason Campbell, Auburn. Washington State, Jim Zorn. Now, Wyoming, I don't know. But they got great license plates with the cowboy on there. But it's so it's the Steelers, but that's what that is. So what else are we looking for tonight? I mean, we mentioned Willie Parker. I mean, these two teams, what else could sway this thing? A punt return Santana Moss, that certainly could be one of them.
Protection of the quarterbacks. That's going to be key.
Santonio Holmes is back in the lineup, so that could help them out a lot.
And they need his big playability. But Washington, I think it's always interesting to watch a young quarterback after they've had some success. To see how they respond against a great defense.
Well, maybe you get to see the Pittsburgh Steelers. We talked about who they are. I think that when Willie Parker, if he's healthy enough, they haven't had 30 carries since he left the lineup. So let's see if they can get 30 carries.
Well, our polls are closing. That's all the time that we have. Thanks for watching. We'll see you at halftime. We're fortunate enough to visit with both presidential candidates, Senators Barack Obama and John McCain. Whoever you support, get out and vote. You're right, and it's your privilege. We vote for quite a game in the nation's capital. The Steelers at the Redskins. Here's Mike Tirico.
Hey, Chris, on the eve of a history-making night, a rare meeting between two of the NFL's most storied franchises. In America's game, this is one of the most popular teams. There's a new era of stars maintaining Steelers' success. In Washington, the administration is new. The man out front in his 4th year. and the Redskins have DC abuzz again. Welcome to the Monday Night Football launch, engineered by the GMC Sierra. Sell out over 93,000 at FedEx Field, Landover, Maryland. The 6-2 Redskins, the 5-2 Steelers on Monday Night Football. Good evening, everyone. We welcome you to the wrap-up of Week 9. There's so much talk with the election tomorrow of a nation divided. Well, there's nothing that unites the D.C. area like the Washington Redskins. They're always in the yay column in these parts, and it's 6 in the win column, 2 in the loss column so far for the Redskins. A win tonight, and they're just a half game behind the Super Bowl champ, NFC-leading Giants. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 5-2. Those 2 losses have come against teams from the NFC East, including the Giants last week, and if they lose tonight, they're tied with Baltimore at the halfway point. Boy, wouldn't that be a surprise? There's big news for the Steelers on offense tonight. They get back 2 of their explosive skill position players in running back Willie Parker and wide receiver Santonio Holmes, who was suspended a week ago. We bring in Tony Kornheiser and Ron Jaworski. Real exciting night here in D.C. So much of it going on. And I want to focus on the Steelers, who travel better than anybody. They have a lot of supporters in the house tonight. It's been since the Terry Bradshaw days since you can say this, but the barometer, the thing you talk about first and foremost with the Steelers is the quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger.
They do it now because he's very big, he's very strong, he already at a young age has a Super Bowl ring, he plays hurt, he completes passes after contact, so psychologically, it's almost like he thinks of himself as a Superman out there. But the kryptonite is all the sacks that he absorbs. Against NFC East teams so far this year, 13 sacks in 2 games, on pace throughout the season for more than 50 sacks. Jaws, you can't keep taking those hits.
No question you can't, but you talked about those sacks against NFC East teams. Against the Eagles, sacked 8 times. Against the Giants, sacked 5 times. Well, lo and behold, he now goes up against the Washington Redskins. They blitz more than both of those teams. And I've got the Redskins, at 100 blitzes in 8 games, so Ben Roethlisberger will see pressure. Yes, he has been sacked a lot, but he also makes big plays. Think back to that Monday night game earlier this season against the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens, who bring blitz pressure, line up with 7 defenders in the box. They're coming after Big Ben. There they are. They're teeing off. But at the snap, they will drop 2 into coverage. Only bring 5, but they cause confusion for the Pittsburgh offensive line. 2 defenders clean at Ben Roethlisberger. You'll see him perceive the pressure and move away from it. Now he knows downfield he's got to buy some time as those defenders close in. So he steps up. He sees the void in the defense, but he's got to wait for Santonio Holmes to open up. And he uncovers, and Ben delivers the football. Certainly with Ben, there is some risk and reward because he is big, strong, hangs in the pocket, but he'll also give you those explosive plays down the field.
That's what happens when Pittsburgh has the ball. When the Redskins have the ball, and put on that chin strap, the extra snap, because we got something going here tonight. The best defense in the league, the Steelers, against the #1 running back the first half of the season in the National Football League. That is Clinton Portis, guys, over 120 yards each of his last 5 games.
Yeah, and Clinton Portis keeps the offense of the Redskins on schedule. And going up against the Steeler defense, that will be a chore. The Steeler defense gives up 2.8 yards per attempt, a phenomenal number. And the one thing Clinton Portis can do, he can force you to drop a gap because he moves quickly, he reads the defense very well, and he turns that little 5-yard gain if you drop a gap into a 40-yard gain.
5 years ago, there was a blockbuster trade in the NFL, the kind you rarely see. The Redskins sent a great quarterback, Champ Bailey, to Denver. They got Clinton Portis in return. Clinton Portis having his best year since those Denver years right now.
Looking like the Redskins being in the thick of it as they take the field here in D.C. Steelers, Redskins coming up.
Unleash your inner rock star. Guitar Hero World Tour. Play with the guitar or expand to the band. Rated T for Teen.
Welcome into our high-definition home. You can see the entire telecast in your home on ESPN HD, presented by Sears. And time now for Sears at Home. in Washington, D.C. Yes, we are ready to vote. We're going to check in with the Redskin rule. Outcome tonight, helping predict the outcome tomorrow. In the final home game before an election, since the Redskins moved to Washington, Redskins win, then the party that won the popular vote in the previous election has won the White House. If there's a Redskin loss, then the party that lost the popular vote in the previous election has won the White House. That is accurate 17 out of 17 times. So what does that mean? Redskin win, good for McCain. Redskin loss, good for Obama tonight. No margin for error in our tracking polls. Everybody else has a poll, right? Well, you're from D.C. here now, so guess what? You're going to have some company here and a new neighbor pretty soon. Maybe you can give them a little bit of advice.
Absolutely. Depending upon how America votes tomorrow, either John McCain or Barack Obama is going to take up residence in Washington, D.C., and presumably root for at least 4 years for the Washington Redskins. So I thought I'd acquaint them with the home team's recent history. For the last 10 years, the Redskins have loaded up on big names. Each April, they went to the free agent market to buy themselves the Super Bowl. No player was too old or too expensive, and they were collected like stocks, and like stocks lately, they plummeted. Jeff George, Deion Sanders, Adam Archuleta, gap! This year brought Jason Taylor. He can tango, but he's hurt, so he can't tackle. It was the same with coaches. Give us big names. First Marty Schottenheimer, then Steve Spurrier. Finally, in a bold attempt to find the new Joe Gibbs, they hired the old Joe Gibbs, who stayed a while and did fine, but then went home to NASCAR. After chasing more big names like Bill Cowher and Pete Carroll, the Redskins uncharacteristically settled on a no-name, Jim Zorn. And wonder of wonders, they are much better for it. Now, Barack Obama preaches change. For years, the Redskins changed too much and too often. John McCain wants the wealthy to keep their money and spend it freely. For years, the Redskins spent money like they were printing it, and none of this stuff worked. Now they're spending less, and they're winning more. Maybe America could do that, too.
I don't know if you heard this, but Obama and McCain are on with Boomer at halftime.
Really?
It's tonight.
No.
Whoa. History tomorrow, history tonight. 8 Super Bowl championships of the 42 with the Redskins and the Steelers.
You've been watching ESPN's Monday Night Football launch, engineered by the GMC Sierra, the official vehicle of Monday Night Football.
America's biggest automobile company and its dealers want to help get you the loan you need. It's General Motors financing that fits, offering access to millions of dollars and hundreds of lenders to help get you behind the wheel. Come in and check out the best lineup of cars, trucks, crossovers, and SUVs we've ever offered. It's our way of putting you and America in the driver's seat. See your local Buick Pontiac GMC dealer today.
I was an intelligence analyst in the U.S. Army.
Warrant officer with the 18th Airborne Corps. 82nd Airborne.
Green Beret.
91 Echo, dental assistant.
Chemical officer, and I served in Iraq.
The Army taught me how to be a team player.
To be decisive.
I learned how to be a leader.
To be strong mentally
and emotionally.
As it turns out, camouflage is a great way to get noticed. 150 careers in the strength America's top employers are looking for.
I am Army Strong.
I am Army Strong.
See what it's like at GoArmy.com.
ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Welcome to the party, all my rowdy friends, a Monday Night Bash on ESPN. The Steelers and the Skins in a game of note. Which of these teams will earn your vote? The pressure is rising. Strap in and hold tight. There'll be no recount in D.C. tonight. Ready? Come on and get ready. I mean really ready. Are you ready for the football? A Monday night party. The whole house is rocking. Let's get it kick-started. Launch this thing. Raise the roof. That's right. All my rowdy friends are here on Monday night.
Redskins in front of the requisite sellout 90,000 plus at FedEx Field, just outside of D.C. in Landover, Maryland. Jim Zorn's team, as we see, they'll be 7-2 and a half game behind the Giants if they win in the ultra-competitive best division in pro sports, the NFC East. Mike Tomlin's Steelers in the place they've become very accustomed to atop the AFC North, but needing a win to stay ahead of John Harbaugh's Baltimore Ravens, not too far from here.
90,000 plus always makes for a wonderful drive home in the middle of the night. Only takes, from my house to here, only takes 2.5 hours.
That's good. You can go right to your poll and vote.
There you go.
Washington has won the toss and will receive. So Jeff Reed is set to kick it off. And Rock Cartwright ready to return. Steelers haven't played here in 20 years. And off we go on a Monday night with an onside kick attempt that did go to 10, but it was recovered by the Redskins and Alfred Fincher. So Washington was ready for the curveball, and Fincher comes up with the recovery for the Redskins, and they'll have great field position.
Are we seeing this more and more this year? Are people trying onside kicks at the strangest times more and more this year?
Offside, number 22 on the kicking team. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the spot of recovery. First down, Washington.
So they'll take it to the 36-yard line.
Yeah, I'm seeing more and more aggressive play in football games. Onside kicks, going for it on fourth down.
Two-point conversions as well, early in games.
Yeah, I don't know.
Driving you crazy, isn't it?
I know.
It's making you nuts.
The surprise onside kicks, that is now 10 attempted, and 5 of the 10 have been recovered by the team that kicked it. So they see something in the film, and here's the surprise onside kick to start the game.
Yeah, and football's a game of field position. The Redskins start out with great field position. They're already in that go zone, that attack zone across the 50-yard line.
See what the best defense in the league the Steelers can do. Clinton Portis on the ground. Waiting for him is Aaron Smith. It's a game of about a yard or so. Jason Campbell is the quarterback for the Washington Redskins. He'll turn 27 in December. He was their first-round pick, 25th overall, guys, back in 2005. Really thriving with Jim Zorn as his head coach.
No question. Jim Zorn is a position coach at heart, and that position is quarterback. He loves working with Jason Campbell.
3 receivers and Cooley, the very good tight end. Campbell to Cooley. Caught at the 30, gains a couple more after that. Ike Taylor off the corner makes the tackle.
Here's the example of how well Jim Zorn has worked with Jason Campbell. Last year, Jason Campbell was intercepted 11 times and had a rating that was 20th in the league. This year, he's been intercepted a little less than 11 times. No times. 0 times, and he's the 5th-rated quarterback in the league. And that's because he's working with a guy who played the same position.
Well, that certainly helps. He's also very careful with the football. He sees the throw, doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes.
3rd and 2 to the right with Portis. Fighting for that extra yard. James Harrison not going to let him get there. The rest of the troops come up. So here's the first decision of the night for Jim Zorn. 4th and a yard. And he's going down to get a good eyeball and see how far he does have to go.
Well, let's see how aggressive Jim Zorn is in this situation right here. Looks like he's going to go for it.
Yep.
Will he go with the Clinton Portis run behind Mike Sellers, the outstanding fullback lead blocker? But no, they're going to take the 3.
He went down, shook his head, said go, then came back down and looked at the guys, so let's go get the 3. After all, they gave you a little opportunity on a platter with a good field position.
And so points will be at a premium against the Steeler defense.
From 44 yards, Sean Sweezum starts the night with a field goal. So 2 minutes in, already the first wrinkle. Steelers get the onside kick. They cannot recover. Sweezum kicks the field goal, and the Redskins are on top. 3-0.
You know what would be nuts is if the Redskins tried an onside kick now. Figuring that Pittsburgh would never expect it.
Well, Danny Smith, the special teams coach for the Washington Redskins, has been known to pull a few of those quirky plays out of his hat.
Well, you know what, guys? You can do something like Mike Tomlin did right out of the gate when you have the #1 defense in the league. If it screws up like that, you don't get the ball back. He's comfortable with, you know what? My defense can take care of me, and they did there. No first down and only a field goal.
Yeah, and Mike, that Steeler defense has forced
3 and out, 26 of 83 possessions. 1/3 of the time you go up against that defense, it's 3 plays and kick a field goal or punt.
Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers open up the season 4-1. Only lost to Philadelphia. The bye week beat Cincinnati handily out of the bye. Then the loss to the Giants. Sitting at 5-2. And Woodley Moore, who's been the main running back with the injury to Willie Parker, is back to receive the squeezing kick. Pick it up at the 11. And Moore, a little crease, and he gets out to the 30-yard line. Devin Thomas, wide receiver, made the tackle. Return of 18. So Big Ben coming on the field. Ben Roethlisberger, now 5th year out of Miami of Ohio. He comes off a game against the Giants that draws the 5 sacks. And one of his poorest stat games. Remember, he didn't have Santonio Holmes.
Well, there's no question Santonio Holmes is the speed guy for this offense. He can blow the top off the defense. Of course, that opens up the intermediate passing game for Big Ben Roethlisberger. Tony, your crowd is crazy tonight.
Yeah. It's early still.
Left knee sprain out for 4 games. Willie Parker returns. Barely a game. Cornelius Griffin, Demetric Evans over there. Let's take you through the starters on the Pittsburgh offense with Roethlisberger, Parker back in. He'll share time with Woodley Moore tonight. They'll probably split the carries evenly. Ron, this receiving core really does a good job for Ben.
No question about it. You know, it's a group that has all dimensions of quarterback and one. The possession receiver in Heath Miller, the tight end. The deep threat in Santonio Holmes. And, of course, Hines Ward is always there for Ben Roethlisberger. That's a security blanket.
You saw Max Starks in, Marvell Smith out again. Back spasms and kept him on the sidelines the last 3 weeks. After no gain, Roethlisberger first throw. Nowhere close to Holmes. Tailgating him was Carlos Rogers.
Carlos Rogers does a terrific job in that press position down below. That's where you want to force the quarterback to hold on to the football. You see him ride, and force the bad throw, because a timing and rhythm offense like the Steelers have, if you can negate that timing and rhythm by holding up the receiver, you see the errant throw.
3rd and 10, 4 receivers. The 4th is Linus Swede, rookie out of Texas, top of your screen. Redskins show 6. Rush 4, deflected. That's alive and intercepted. Off the interception, Cornelius Griffin, the captain, with the turnover. Andre Carter deflected the pass.
Well, you'll see Ben in the pocket. Carter with good pressure up the middle, forces Ben to go over the top. That ball is a live ball up in the air. You see the Steelers, you see the Redskins looking to that football. It bounces off Max Starks up in the air, and certainly Cornelius Griffin, an opportunistic defensive tackle.
Max Starks appeared to be trying to dive into the ground and get away from that ball. Last thing he wanted was to pop it back up like it was volleyball.
No Jason Taylor. Carter becomes the best pass-rushing end for the Redskins. Another great opportunity for Washington. Taken over here at the 30. And Campbell fires to the end zone. Deflected and incomplete. It was Santana Moss trying to get the Ike Taylor deflection, but he couldn't. Moss with a hamstring injury still playing tonight.
Yeah, and the one thing you see on a play like that, the sprint right option, you can see the reading ability of Troy Polamalu getting deep on that go pattern. Excellent range.
We told you Portis leads the league in rushing. Sellers, 280 pounds, good blocker. Randall L., Antoine's first game against his old Steeler team. Chris Cooley behind Jason Witten in terms of tight end productivity. And a veteran offensive line that has become quite cohesive in the first 8 games of the year.
And they're spreading out the Steeler defense. A 5-wide look, no back in the backfield.
Campbell's pass is complete. There is linebacker Shea Townsend on the stop of James Thrash. 7th catch for the 3rd receiver on this team. So let's bring in the Pittsburgh defense now. A lot of familiar names back up front. Casey Hampton missed 3 starts. He's back in there along with Brett Keeson. Love the defensive really ends outside linebackers in this 3-4. Harrison and Woodley up there in the top 10 in sacks in the league.
Mike, they're incredible bookend players. That linebacker spot, they complement each other well. And you did mention the sacks. Combined, Harrison and Woodley have 16.
Nicked up in the secondary. No Bryant McFadden, no Ryan Clark tonight. It's 3rd down. Campbell's pass behind Antoine Randall, covered by his old teammate Troy Polamalu. Right at the Steeler defense, another 3 and out in tough territory.
I was just going to bring that up. You said it was like you presaged it early in the telecast, in the sense that even when bad breaks happen against the Steelers, their defense is such that if they can hold you to 3, you know, that's almost a win for them.
What did I do?
Presaged it.
Sage Rosenfels?
No, there's a sage and then there's a pre-sage, but there's no post-sage as far as I know.
Sweezum made it from 42 before, this from 43. And the Redskins with 2 field goals in the first 4 minutes. Washington up 6-0.
Saved by Zero.
Now, for a limited time only, you can get amazing 0 APR financing on your favorite Toyota.
Saved by Zero.
That's 0% financing on 12 different models. With savings like these, no wonder Toyota has the best overall value of any brand. So hurry in now and see how much 0 can save you on a new Toyota.
Saved by Zero. Saved by Zero.
The distinctive taste of Bud Light can be described with just one word: drinkability. Bud Light. The difference is drinkability.
Are you gonna go for it?
This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
No, crazy is not connecting your new flat screen to DirecTV and missing out on your favorite channels in HD.
On average, get 3 times more HD channels than cable.
I've been looking over your green proposal.
Great.
It's fine, just fine. I'm sure it'll make people feel real good about the company. Should go over big with the tree huggers, too. See, the folks that I report to, they don't eat granola. So let me ask you, why would I sign this?
This plan could cut our energy costs by 40%.
40%.
And we spent $18 million on energy last year.
What do I sign?
Just sign it.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Toyota, moving forward. DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. IBM. When you're ready to stop talking innovation and start doing, visit IBM.com/doing. And Bud Light. The difference is drinkability.
The only thing better than coming to see the monuments in D.C., seeing them on a clear night.
Those are the iconic shots of the United States of America, all those monuments. And by the way, boys and girls, they're free to visit in Washington.
Yeah. Spectacular weekend here in Washington. Really had a great time.
Llewellyn Moore back deep to receive. Redskins have had no first downs but 6 points and 2 possessions in 4 minutes. Never know what's going to happen when you put it on the tee and get going, huh? Moore from the 5 now. And the former Minnesota Viking can't get out past the 25-yard line. H.B. Blades makes the tackle. Roethlisberger and the Steelers haven't picked up a first down yet. We'll see what they have up when you come back.
College Football Live, your daily source for news, highlights, and expert analysis. Get your college football fix Monday at 3 Eastern, Tuesday through...
Sending Jeff Merkley to the U.S. Senate could give one party a blank check again. Jeff Merkley's a partisan who will do what he's always done: tax, spend, and borrow. And now Merkley's allies in Washington have a plan for more taxes, spending, and welfare. Especially in this economy, Oregon needs an independent voice in the U.S. Senate, and that's not Jeff Merkley. The National Republican Senatorial Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Like every Monday night, tonight's game available in Spanish on ESPN Deportes. Onside kick turns into a field goal. Interception turns into a field goal. Second possession for Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers. And Willie Parker with a good opening on the right side of the line, a gain of 8 past London Fletcher. Well, the numbers for Ben, always your numbers are good, wins and losses, but all the wins are against AFC competition. Strong, 65%, 9 touchdowns, but against the NFC East, terrible quarterback rating, under 50%, and updated now, 6 interceptions and 13 sacks. Look at them side by side. It's just been, well, it's been playing against really good defenses like the Eagles and the Giants.
And this is a good defense right here in Washington as well.
8th in the league in points allowed. Second and 2, and Roethlisberger throws for Nate Washington at the 40. It's a first down.
Last year, Ben Roethlisberger had a spectacular year. I guess he didn't play the NFC East teams. He was second only to Tom Brady. He had 32 touchdown passes and 11 interceptions. This year, he's only 2 ahead of Matt Castle. And he's down in all the significant numbers. A rating down, TDs down, percentage down, picks up and sacks up. It hasn't been good, especially against NFC East teams, as the graphics show.
After the game's first down, Parker runs for about 4 yards. Andre Carter, who had the deflection earlier, made the play. He leads that defensive front. No Jason Taylor, the 6-time Pro Bowler from the city of Pittsburgh. And another surgery on his left calf, so Demetri Evans steps in as the starting defensive end. Ron, there's a player we should point out tonight. Keep an eye on 59, London Fletcher.
Yeah, he is the best NFL player, never invited to the Pro Bowl. London is a tackling machine. You'll see him all over the field. He deserves a Pro Bowl invitation.
You'll notice no Sean Springs, missing his 3rd straight calf injury in the secondary for the Redskins. Quick hit to Santonio Holmes, deflected away by Carlos Rogers. For a guy who tore his ACL and missed half of last year, he's having a very good 2008.
Yeah, that was one of those smoke plays you see so prevalent now in the National Football League. It's a running play that is called, but if the corner plays 5-6 yards off, the wide receiver will run that dart to the inside. Then just made an errant throw. Didn't hit the wide receiver, didn't get the first down. The Redskins loading up the box. It looks like pressure.
In your screen, you see 10 of the 11 defenders. Just the safety Landry. Back deep. Ben, flush, sacked. Demetri Evans forces 4th down and forces a punt.
The Redskins went man-to-man, and that's what they do. They went man-to-man in the secondary, safety free in the middle of the field, and an excellent job with the pressure. That's what you have to do. You have to tackle Ben Roethlisberger. He's big, he's strong, he'll hang in the pocket. Evans did a great job of wrapping him up and bringing him down.
After snap problems last week when their snapper was injured, Garrett Rotowski did a nice job with the snap on Mitch Berger's punt. Fair caught at the 25-yard line. The kick was 35 yards.
The entire city of Pittsburgh held its breath to see if that snap would be better than the one that cost them against the Giants' safety.
Saved by Zero.
Now, for limited time only, you can get amazing 0 APR financing on your favorite Toyota.
Saved by Zero.
That's 0% financing on 12 different models with savings like these.
2008 presidential election, and as you probably have heard, Barack Obama and John McCain, the 2 senators, one of whom will go to sleep tomorrow night as president of the United States, the 44th. They will join Chris Berman at halftime. 6-0, Redskins yet to have a first down. Santana Moss puts the chains that in front of Ike Taylor. And Washington believe they're going to move the chains for the first time tonight, maybe just shy.
This is the West Coast offense that Jim Zorn likes to run. 75% of the passes are less than 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. The quick drop by Jason Campbell. Get the ball out of his hand. Get the ball to Santana Moss in space. Force a corner to miss a tackle. Get a first down.
They did get the first down at the 36-yard line. And back to the NFL's leading rusher, Clinton Portis. Longest run this year against the Steelers. Into Pittsburgh territory. First down to 42. The pickup was 22.
As long as I have you to my right, Jaws, and I know what you said about the West Coast offense, but they go so much to Portis. I thought in West Coast offenses it was pass first.
In the passing game, it is the West Coast offense. In the running game, it's the Midwest Coast offense because it's Joe Gibbs' running style.
Power running
Joe
game.
Bugel, the offensive line coach, and they love to run the I formation. 55% efficient, 4 yards or more out of the I formation. Portis loves to follow Mike Sellers.
To the left, upended by James Harrison. It'll be a short game. Clinton Portis, who for the last 5 games has gone over 120 yards and averaged 5 yards per rush. Jim Brown did it a half century ago. O.J. did it in his spectacular season a quarter century ago. And now Portis the last 5 games. That's amazing numbers. Yeah.
It's unbelievable company to be in for running backs.
120 per game and 5 per rush. And that 22-yard rush, guys, by 7, that was the longest against the Steeler defense all year. Campbell, time, tried to take off. It's really essentially no gain as Nick Eason, in his 6th year out of Clemson, brings down the Washington quarterback.
I want to go back to what you said about Portis getting 5 yards a rush, because in the 4 years prior to this year that he'd been with the Redskins, he got 3.8, 4.3, 4.1, and 3.9. So this is a huge leap upwards. I mean, Clinton Portis right now, Jaws, right, he's the best running back in the game.
I would say you're absolutely correct. Yeah, he gives you everything you want. And you know what I love about Clinton Portis? In the passing game, he will pick up the blitz.
147 yards ahead of Adrian Peterson to the moment. Not picking up anything here except a reception. Steelers show pressure. Campbell takes timeout, but a marker is down before. One of the Redskins flinched. So let's see if the false start beat the timeout. First-year NFL referee Carl Sheffers leads the crew tonight. One of the 2 first-year referees, but he has been an official here in the National Football League the last several seasons.
Did he have to be a coordinator first before he got the head referee job?
Just take the jump up.
First charge timeout, Washington. There's no foul on the play. The call for the timeout occurred simultaneous with the movement on the line of scrimmage.
Timeout Redskins. They'll have 3rd and 8 when we come back.
When I think about my son's future, I worry more than just toy boats are floating away. Unfortunately, too many Oregon jobs are floating away to foreign countries. It's time to finally end tax breaks for companies that ship our jobs overseas, and to raise the $10 corporate minimum tax so companies making millions in profits pay their fair share. If we protect Oregon's jobs now, we'll see ripple effects for our kids.
Toby Forsberg, beyond business as usual.
If a natural disaster happened and we were outside the home, we would probably all meet, I'll say, around the grocery store, you know.
We would all meet at a bus stop. That is our meeting place.
Well, we would probably just meet out in front of the house.
We'd probably meet at our neighbor's house.
If you have no plan, then you can just plan what to do as it happens.
Sounds like you could use some Van Gogurt. It's fortified with arch-rich nutrients to improve your math and reading skills. Catch!
Van Gogurt, thanks. So what's the deal with your ear?
Always with the ear, huh?
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit AmericansForTheArts.org.
Next Monday night to the desert. Mike Singletary making headlines after one game. We'll see if Frank Gore and the 49ers are fortified after the break, because the leaders of the West by 3 games, Warner, Fitzgerald, holding away Cardinals-Niners next Monday night from Arizona, 8:30 Eastern.
Points come out of the passing game, and boy, we will see them in Arizona. You love that, don't you, Tony?
Maybe only by one team.
Yeah.
Out of the Washington called timeout, 3rd and 8, and a bunch of terrible towels waving. A lot of Steeler fans in the house tonight. They rush 5. Campbell's pass is deflected by James Farrior, the underappreciated, outstanding inside backer for the Steelers, and Washington will punt it away.
The Steelers do a great job with that circus look. Everyone near the line of scrimmage, linebackers standing up, defensive ends standing up. An excellent job by Farrior getting his hand on the football. They try to create doubt in your pass protections with all that movement.
The former Seahawk, Ryan Plackmeyer, to kick. Had one game, 11 punts with Seattle, then was sent packing. Signed with the Redskins. Couldn't pin the Steelers inside the 20. So only a net of 21. Jim Zorn's defense takes the field from their own 20. It's been a frustrating start for Roethlisberger. Let's see how they bounce back after this.
The way the stock market's been acting lately, you may wonder if you've been doing the right thing. Is the advice you've been getting helping or hurting? Are the fees you're paying really worth it? TD Ameritrade's fees are fair and straightforward. Their research is independent and unbiased. Their investment consultants are knowledgeable and there when you need them. So why not talk to one?
Call, click, or visit a TD Ameritrade branch today.
Saved by Zero.
Now, for limited time only, you can get amazing 0 APR financing on your favorite Toyota.
Saved by
That's 0% financing on 12 different models. With savings like these, no wonder Toyota has the best overall value of any brand. So hurry in now and see how much 0 can save you on a new Toyota.
Saved by Zero. Saved by Zero.
War never changes. Fallout 3. Rated M for mature.
Xbox 360. Now starting at $199.
After their shocking upset win, Texas Tech looks to take the next step in their run at a championship. Saturday Night Football on ABC. Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, or Cal USC. Saturday at 8 Eastern. College football lives here.
Dan Snyder's owner's box here at FedEx Field, always a power position. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell with the Redskins owner, and to the left of your screen, the right of Dan Snyder, our ESPN president, George Bodenheimer. So, as usual, it is a VIP only in the box to our right.
They wouldn't let Jaws and me in.
Yes. Not surprising. Third Pittsburgh drive. They've all started inside their own 25. Roethlisberger to Santonio Holmes. Pass is dropped and incomplete. You know, Ben Roethlisberger, Tony, you mentioned at the beginning how he is the big, strong quarterback. Yep. Boy, has he been beaten up. He has a ligament injury in his left thumb. Came into our meeting last night with that, with a little brace around it. Remember, we saw them a month ago. He didn't shake hands with us because his right hand was all puffy. That was injured a month ago. And the right shoulder at the start of the season. So we got a shoulder, a hand, and a thumb. And we're not even halfway home yet for the Steelers.
And the Redskins are matching up Carlos Rogers on Santonio Holmes wherever he goes.
And from the 20, it is Parker. It is nothing. And the Redskin defense has been very stout early on.
You know what I wonder about? I wonder about if you replay in your mind, this is the third NFC East team that the Steelers have faced. All physical games. Roethlisberger gets beat up in all of them. I would think that the happiest moment in his season will be after they play the Cowboys and they just get the NFC East off their schedule. Because he gets banged up against these guys.
That'll be December 7th at home. London Fletcher adjusting the defense. Bunch of Burgundy coming and the pass incomplete. Holmes didn't react to the hot. Carlos Rogers almost ended up with a pick. All right, we've talked about the snap last week by James Harrison. It was a 14-12 Pittsburgh lead. The long snapper injured his knee out for the season. That over the head of Mitch Berger and a safety to tie the game at 14. So Jared Ratovsky comes in for Greg Warren. This was the first snap. He got beat up by Kedrick Golston and they just kept beating on him and beating on Rutkowski the whole time. Welcome to the NFL. That was his first snap.
And Golston never plays on punt rush, but he did there.
Mitch Berger's hamstring is still bothering him. That was not a good kick, and Antoine Randall ran up to catch it at the 48, only a 28-yard line, a 28-yard punt. Mitch Berger had 2 hamstrings that were bothering him, and you see him limping off the field. You saw at that snap last week against the Giants, he was kind of ambling back to get it. Mike Tomlinson did scans this week. Everything was cool, but was bothered throughout. And guys, look at this pregame. Our crew keeping an eye on him. Watch the grimace on his face as he was punting in warm-ups.
Yeah, and I had a chance to talk to Mitch Berger before the game, and he said he hasn't been able to practice all week, but he felt he could gut it out game day, and clearly that hamstring is bothering him.
Jeff Reed, the kicker, would be the backup punter if Berger can't go. Portis to the right with a shoulder down from Larry Foote. And slow to get up is Casey Hampton on the play.
You mentioned that Berger had 2 bad hamstrings. That wouldn't be so bad if you were a racehorse with 4 legs. But since you only have 2, that's 100% of your hamstrings in big trouble.
Well, it results in good field position for Jim Zorn. And Jim Zorn, in addition to never being a coordinator, has only called plays in college or one brief game when he was an offensive coach with the Lions. So in addition to being a new head coach, he's also a first-time play caller in the NFL. So the plate is full for the former Seahawks quarterback. Speaking of former Seahawks, Sean Alexander's in the backfield. And the MVP of the NFL in 2005 gets it to the 40-yard line.
Let me go to this thing with Jim Zorn, because I live here and I followed, the drama when he was named the head coach. If Aaron Rodgers is the player under the most scrutiny in the league, and I believe he is taking over from Brett Favre, Jim Zorn is the coach under the most scrutiny. He was handed a playoff team. They made the playoffs last year. He had never been a coordinator, had not called plays in the pros, had been simply a position coach, and people in the D.C. area, myself included, were very skeptical about naming him. Much less skeptical now with a 6-2 record, but tremendous skepticism about it.
Campbell forced to take his second timeout of this first quarter. So the Steelers' ever-changing defenses. Hey, see, Jim Zorn said, very good call, Jason. He liked what his quarterback did there.
Huh, these aren't mine.
This is Bob at CDW. Leave a message.
Hey, Bob, it's Greg. Competition's starting to get a little too close, so we need to talk. Let's discuss network security. Call me. Hope you're well.
Hey, Greg. I'm here with your network and security specialist.
Greg, there are security updates for all your offices and some new features you'll like.
Perfect. Thanks, you guys.
With experienced technology specialists certified in everything from storage to security, CDW is there.
Greg, behind you.
That's pretty good.
In an odd first quarter, the Redskins had 2 possessions inside the 40 of the Steelers to start the game, off a surprise onside kick to open the game and an interception. First time teams have started that close to the other team's goal line, back-to-back possessions since the Steelers in the opener last year. 3rd and 3 throw by Campbell's broken up by Ike Taylor. Intended for Santana Moss. He's looking for a flag. He's not getting one. And the Redskins will punt it away. Haven't converted a 3rd down yet.
Yeah, Ike Taylor in terrific position right here. He does a great job of driving the route, coming underneath, and tipping the ball down before it got to Moss. In those situations, 3rd and 3, you expect the ball to come out quick. Those corners got to sit and drive, and that's exactly what Taylor did.
Some of Weldy Moore's back team. Steelers have not gotten much out of their return game all year. This one, not a situation for that fair caught by Moore inside the 10. Well, of course, talking about the election tomorrow, some of the presidents who have been involved in football played college football. Dwight Eisenhower at Army, JFK on the JV and freshman team at Harvard, Richard Nixon at Whittier College, never lettered, Gerald Ford, twice a national champion at Michigan, and Ronald Reagan at Eureka College in Illinois was a guard. Very interesting. 4 of them playing at pretty much the same time from 28 through 37 there, but those are the 5 presidents who have been active in college football.
28 through 37, I was starting out as a reporter. I covered most of those games.
You had those games?
Yeah, I went. I saw.
Yeah,
I waited for Nixon to get a letter. I rooted for him. I pulled for him like Jaws pulls for London Fletcher to make the Pro Bowl.
That Eureka offense is pretty impressive, by the way.
back to the snap. From the 9, here's Willie Parker. Got a good block from Kerry Davis to spring him. The fullback block made that 15-yard gain happen.
Yeah, excellent job right here. Corey Davis does an outstanding job on the blocks. Kerry Davis, and that's what you do. You get that fullback leading up inside, seal the defense, and create that alley to the outside.
4 games out for Willie Parker.
The Steelers need to get their running game going. Take some of the heat off Ben Roethlisberger.
22, Heath Miller waiting to block for Parker. And just a couple of yards to get Marcus Washington over there with the tackle.
Willie Parker, in the first 3 games that he played, had more carries than anybody else in the NFL. Ben Roethlisberger, not coincidentally, was averaging less than 20 passes a game. Because when the Steelers, historically, when the Steelers have good offense, it's basically a run offense. They believe in running the ball and stopping the run. They are a ground attack team. And Roethlisberger benefits when Parker's in there.
And on 2nd and 7, the drifting Roethlisberger. High, hard to pick in by Matt Spaeth, the tight end. Wonderfully covered by the rookie Chris Horton. 7th-round pick out of the draft from UCLA. He has been great for Washington.
You know, Mike, no question about it. As I prepare for these games and study the tape, Chris Horton is one of those guys that flashes. In other words, he's making plays. And he's an excellent guy in coverage, well, play in the box. You can see with the coverage on Spaeth. He's very instinctive. He can play down in the box and buzz back to center field. I saw a play earlier this year. He intercepted a ball for Terrell Owens from Tony Romo, line up in the box and intercepted an out route. Very intuitive safety.
Roethlisberger's 1 of 7 tonight. 6 DBs for Washington. They bring the heat. Ben threw it in a good spot. Nate Washington couldn't catch it. Fred Smoot the coverage. And the Redskins defense has been the better squad in the first quarter.
Well, the Redskins are a pressure defense. Here they come after the quarterback. This forces Ben to get rid of the ball quickly. And with that pressure on the quarterback quick, the corners are sitting on routes. Excellent coverage by Fred Smoot on Nate Washington.
Former Steeler Antoine Randall L. awaits the punt by the hamstrung Mitch Berger. Here comes the limp. Fair catch called for and made by Randall L. at the 35-yard line with about 10 to go. 40 yards on the kick. Well, how do guys prepare when we're all talking about who's going to be a good team? Here's how Jason Campbell prepared with Jim Zorn. Ron?
Well,
unique.
The National Football League, it's about throwing from different platforms. You're going to be hit, so you replicate being hit. You throw bags to the quarterback. Look at Jim. He's a coach. He's a quarterback coach. He loves being on the field with his quarterbacks. You know, he's telling him, hey, you're not going to have a pretty pocket to throw from. You're not going to have a beautiful cradle. Sometimes there's going to be bodies around you. Be people under your feet. You got to throw sidearm, come over the top. And Jim loves being around the quarterbacks.
From the 35, Campbell to Randall L. Gain of about 4.5. I was watching NFL Primetime, and Trent Dilfer was talking about this, and you'll see how his throwing this year has been good for Campbell and throwing shorter stuff. He has been hit a little bit, and it's okay. Turn the shoulder, reset, throw, reset, throw. And you can almost see him when you watch him. He's resetting, he's throwing.
Well, it's simple. You avoid the rush, you reset, and you deliver, all on balance. And that's exactly what Jason Campbell has improved the most on this season. And he's quickened up his stroke as well.
2nd and 5. Portis is submarined by Polamalu.
I need to ask you a question then, Charles.
Yes, sir.
When you were playing with the Eagles, did they throw bags at you?
No.
See how much better you would have been if they threw bags.
You're probably right. I need some bags thrown at me.
Cement bags in Philadelphia, stuff like that.
Portis hobbling off the field after that carry, guys. So we'll check on the leading rusher in the NFL who's carried it 20 or more times in each game when the second quarter gets underway. Been a rough quarter both ways. Roethlisberger and the Steelers offense not done very much. After one in D.C., the Redskins by 6.
E60, Tuesday at 7 on ESPN. Imagine what a well-tailored suit can do. Men's Warehouse. You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it.
It seems like a great price, but I better make it.
Looks to be okay. We'll see if he's back in momentarily, but a meeting at the quarterback brings Campbell down. It is James Harrison and James Farrior who will share one. Harrison among the top 5 in the league in sacks this year.
Yeah, we know about the Pittsburgh Steelers linebackers, and here you see it coming off the edge. It's all about pressure. That time's James Harrison and Lamar Woodley both lined up on the same side of the defense. Boy, that'll create some pressure on your pass protections.
Another Plackemeyer kicks. Antonio Holmes goes back to this one. They need a spark in their return game, trying to get it from Holmes from the 15. A little spark. Good, hard return. James Thrash brings him down. There's a return of 17 yards after the kick of 51. Guys, we talked about Clinton Portis, over 20 carries each game. He told me on the phone this week that everything hurts. Ankle, knee, it's just been a year of soreness because of the carries, but he feels he can accept the load, change his workouts a little bit in this offseason, worked out up here near the Redskins as opposed to back home in Miami, and feels like he can thrive in Jim Zorn's offense.
They're paying him to run the ball, and he's running it great. There are going to be bruises that come along the way in football.
Not a good first quarter for the Steeler offense. Total of 34 yards on 15 plays. And Willie Parker tumbles through the hole. Fred Smoot's had a nice game. He's returned here to Washington after a couple of years with the Vikings.
If you want to stop the Steelers offense, particularly their running game, your defensive line must play well. That's what's happening right now for the Washington Redskins. Their defensive line is winning in the trenches. It's allowing their linebackers to scrape and make tackles a yard or two downfield.
Couple of tight ends over to this near side, the left side, to help Max Starks, who's in for the injured Marvell Smith. Power run, bounced that way by Parker. And Willie brings it to third and short. There's the guy Jaws mentioned, London Fletcher, making the tackle. Fletcher, his nickname is Bam Bam, after the character from the Flintstones. For the way he hits. Greg Plotch, the outstanding defensive coordinator for the Redskins, said he's the smartest player I've been around. Undersized, listed at 5'10". He's not. He's less than that, but the productivity has been outstanding. 3rd and 2, fake the run to Washington. Good catch by Malodi. Moore, better play by Fletcher. It's incomplete, and 4th down.
Outstanding job by London Fletcher. Diagnose the play. Know what the Steelers are trying to do. That's an intuitive play. That's why London Fletcher should be in the Pro Bowl. Watch it. The action away, he stays at home. Great discipline by London Fletcher. Excellent tackle in the open field, although I believe it's ruled an incomplete pass.
Very lucky to be nicknamed Bam Bam and not say Wilma. If you're going to go the Flintstone route.
Snap was good. Berger able to get off a good kick. Tough to catch for Randall L. Like it was dropped out of the sky like a skydiver. Without the parachute. About the 28. Fletcher in the defense. 5 possessions for the Steelers. Just 2 first downs.
Vehicle of the NFL. UPS. What can Brown do for you? Find out at ups.com/whiteboard. You're going to like the way you look. Men's Warehouse and Miller Lite. Reach for the original. Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling.
Tonight's aerial coverage of FedEx Field provided by DirecTV. 91,000 plus on hand. Mike Tirico, Tony Kornheiser, Ron Jaworski, Michelle Tafoya. Washington 6, Pittsburgh nothing. Portis back in the game, set a good block for Campbell, whose pass for Moss is caught on the sideline but out of bounds. Great throw and effort by Santana, but it's incomplete.
Redskins trying for the big play on 1st down. But excellent coverage by the Steelers in that 2-deep shell, and they ran man for man with the wide receivers. The Redskins only ran 2 wide receivers out on routes. They kept everyone else in the block, give Jason Campbell time, but the Steelers did an outstanding job in coverage.
Intense game, but not exactly an offensive clinic. 36 plays, 96 yards. Terrain tough to get tonight. Portis back in the game, only gets a yard. Aaron Smith to tackle. Another third down is coming up. SportsCenter right now. Here's Steve Levy.
All right, Mike, thank you. Hey, big name NBA trade today. Allen Iverson goes to the Detroit Pistons for Chauncey Billups and Antonio McDyess. Philip Fulmer will not be back as Tennessee's head coach next year. The Vols have lost 4 straight. And Derek Anderson's been benched by the Browns. They'll start Brady Quinn Thursday night against the Broncos. SportsCenter coming up after Monday Night Football. Mike, back to you.
All right, Leaves, thanks for the update. And we'll see Brady in a couple of weeks, in all likelihood, up in Buffalo.
Here's the Steelers with that circus look. Only one defensive lineman with his hand on the ground.
And Campbell feels the pressure, gets away. A flag comes down as Jason will take the sack from James Harrison. Farrior flushed him. Harrison cleaned up on the sideline, and the marker down near where guys are trying to save the quarterback.
Number 60, offense. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
You talked about, Mike, you talked about the nature of the game so far, that it's been defensive, and it's sort of in fits and starts as you watch what happens to Jason Campbell. Jim Zorn said to us the other day, or said to me anyway, on Saturday, I'm afraid you might not like the game. There's not going to be a lot of scoring. I said, come on.
Another Plackmeyer kick. This is best of the night. 54 yards. Holmes from the 28. Flag down. Holmes out of bounds at the 40-yard line. You can see a Steeler trying to avoid the block in the back, but it looks like Sean McHugh is caught. And it will be another long field for the Steelers.
But Plackmeyer launched that one, gentlemen.
Teams have combined, Tony, to your point, 0 for 11.
During the return, block in the back. On the return team, number 27, 10-yard penalty. 1st down, Pittsburgh. Timeout.
Well, Anthony Smith is flagged there. 0 for 11 on 3rd down tonight. Both teams combined.
Almost inert, but great on defense.
Trey Wingo here. Join us Tuesday on NFL Live. Titans running back Chris Johnson of undefeated Tennessee will join us. And, of course, we'll be here all week long breaking down the Week 10 matchups. NFL Live, Mondays 3:30, Tuesday through Friday, 4 o'clock Eastern on ESPN.
Are you ready to...
Every morning for the last 4 years, I've gotten up to...
On offense, take a shot deep downfield and having to come back for it is Hines Ward. And he does and makes the catch with a flag down. Are now ruled incomplete. Ruled incomplete as the back judge came in, but we do have a marker down here. Anthony Montgomery's pressure may have kept Roethlisberger from hitting a home run to Hines Ward.
Pass interference, number 22, defense. Spot foul. The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. The penalty will be accepted at the spot of the foul. Automatic 1st down.
Yeah, you'll see an underthrown ball. Hines Ward coming back for the football, and really Carlos Rogers in no position to make the play. He grabbed Hines Ward before the ball got there. It's one of those underthrows that puts the secondary in a tough position.
And here's what we're talking about, why Roethlisberger couldn't get it all the way out because of the pressure by Montgomery. So that's a 43-yard penalty for a team that had 42 yards of offense to that point. First time in Redskin territory, and Roethlisberger hit as he put it up. Incomplete. The pressure by Marcus Washington.
The Redskins been very effective with their stunts up front. They went back and watched the Giants. They watched Eagles. Those teams were successful with these stunts, and that's exactly what they're doing. Here's the Andre Carter on the long stick, bat the ball up in the air. Again, stunts and twists up front. Watch the defensive lineman creating confusion for the offensive line, getting defenders free at the quarterback. The Steelers' offensive line is struggling with their pickup against those stunts, twists, and turns.
One of those 3 first downs and the pass interference a moment ago. More pressure. Picked up this time. Roethlisberger for Santonio Holmes. Incomplete. Carlos Rogers. Keep working on him. Not going to get much.
Look at the shoes on Carlos Rogers.
The shoes?
Bright gold shoes. Look at that.
The shoes.
Gotta get a shot on that.
I'm looking at the play this guy made. Look at the perfect position he's in. Almost a little push there from
Antonio Holmes. Check out the shoes, though.
Yeah. The shoes. Look at the coverage.
Well, some people like coverage and others like shoes. What can I tell you?
Ben Roethlisberger tonight, guys. 1 of 11 passing. And a lot of the pressure John showed you a moment ago. The reason why. Timeout. Pittsburgh. On the 3rd and 10 coming up. Close to field goal range for Mike Tomlin's team.
All right, express options. Well, when you ship with UPS, you're in control of the speed and the cost of your shipping. Need it in Miami in 2 days? Easy. How about next day by 8 a.m.? Guaranteed. You can even have it arrive the same day. It's whatever speed you need. It's not just express options, it's express options with UPS. I think I need a comb.
What is this?
This is a plan to help take the company green.
Green? You mean like light bulbs, recycling?
These guys have covered everything. Data centers, PCs, networking, supply chains, top to bottom.
Cute. But where is the business value in tree hugging?
They could cut our energy costs by as much as 40%.
40%?
40%.
Search Pontiac G8 reviews online and see why it's getting a bit of a reputation. The Pontiac G8 GT, the most powerful sedan for the money. Now use your purchase bonus cash and get a G8 sedan starting at $25,095. Offer ends November 3rd. See your local Buick, Pontiac, GMC dealer.
McCain, Obama, the White House. For an election this historic, only ABC News, turning the crossroads of the world, Times Square, New York, into your super election headquarters. Charlie Gibson, Diane Sawyer, George Stephanopoulos, ABC Election Night.
You see the Capitol, and a reminder that Barack Obama and John McCain coming up at halftime with Chris Berman on the eve of the presidential election. Of course, every seat in the House of Representatives, 3rd of the Senate up. Hope you get out and vote tomorrow.
The Redskins have blitzed 75% of the passing situation against the Steelers and look like it's going to go up because they're bringing the heat once again. Ben checking out, getting his protection right, and here they come.
And on 3rd and 10, the hot to Hines Ward, who takes off for the first down. And the Steeler fans, and there are plenty of them here, react to the 12-yard gain.
Talk about this as somebody who's lived in Washington for 30 years, all these terrible towels. What is going on here?
Excellent job by Ben Roethlisberger, getting his protection right, the quick slant to Hines Ward. Those are blitz speeders. 3rd and 10, they blitz, hoping a defender could make a tackle short of the first down. Hines Ward escapes, gets the first down.
They wouldn't have these terrible towels if this game was in Philly.
But they wouldn't even think of
do that.
Are you kidding me? In Philly, you don't wear another team's jersey. You don't bring a towel.
Roethlisberger had missed his last 8 passes before that one. That was the first 3rd down conversion of the night. And Willie Parker runs to the right side for a couple of yards. Well, certainly the calling card for the Redskins this year, guys, has been the offense. Jason Campbell's been very good. The defense is somewhat unheralded because the most recognizable player on that defense, Jason Taylor, they required the first day of camp when they lost 2 defensive ends, has not played. So I don't want to disrespect Carlos Rogers and London Fletcher, but it's somewhat a no-name defense. But they've done the job in close games this year. Every Washington game has been a single-digit margin.
Yeah, and defense coordinator Greg Blosh has really done a terrific job of taking the individual talent and putting it together as a team.
Roethlisberger has space with Matt Spaeth, the second-year tight end out of Minnesota. Pinball as Horton sent him high, and Washington knocked him down. We'll have 3rd down coming up. Talk about the presence of the Redskin defense, top 10 in the league in points allowed, 8th in the NFL, very stingy and hard to move it on too, 6th and 5th in the rushing game. doing it without some of their key guys. Again tonight, no Jason Taylor, no Sean Springs, the corner.
The history of the Redskins, though, has been mostly offensive history, starting with Joe Gibbs. Defensive guys were very rarely heralded.
In field goal range, so you don't want to have the big mistake here. Mewelde Moore is the back. Third and short. Then steps up, goes down, has to eat it. As Demetric Evans comes through, had a sack last week against the Lions. And another one here, second for the Redskins, and a Jeff Reed field goal attempt is coming.
Yeah, those are the normal plays that Ben Roethlisberger makes. You know, when you get pressure, he can escape. As you see right here, there's the tackle right there. An outstanding job. But Ben, usually when he gets through that initial burst, he gets upfield and gets the first down. Big enough, strong enough, didn't do it there as Evans makes a great play.
Credit Evans with both sacks tonight. Reed to kick. Again, the snapper is new. First short snap in the game for Garrett Rutkowski. It's perfect, and it's a three-point game. Jeff Reed hasn't missed a kick all year. 6'3", more than a third of the way through tonight.
Search Pontiac G8 reviews online and see why it's getting a bit of a reputation. The Pontiac G8 GT, the most powerful sedan for the money. Now use your purchase bonus cash and get a G8 sedan starting at $25,095. Offer ends November 3rd. See your local Buick, Pontiac, GMC dealer.
What's this? That's called League Violation Light. Of the More Taste League, I am shocked. This light beer with less taste has introduced a very uncool situ into this so-called cooler. You guys pretty funny? Depriving people of Miller Lite? No. Wrong. But it's funny faux pas, not funny ha-ha. Well, can I cut a deal? I've convened with myself, and the citation is commuted. Let this guy's whistle.
The official beer of the More Taste League. Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling.
Go the distance with an NFL team lamp and choose from thousands of other authentic NFL products, including these Northwest team blankets. Available at NFLshop.com and select retailers.
Unbelievable college football weekend last week, and now the folks in Happy Valley say, hey, wait a minute. Don't forget about us. Penn State takes on Iowa. Oklahoma still in the mix against Texas A&M. And Clemson, Florida State, important game in the ACC. The regional games on ABC Saturday afternoon. And Texas Tech, the new Cinderella story to follow against Oklahoma State in primetime on ABC this Saturday night.
Well, Mike, you are Mr. College Football as well. How does Texas Tech leapfrog Penn State?
You beat number one. You beat number one. The computers don't know Joe Paterno, history, Penn State. It's going to play out well over the next month. Jeff Reed, the kick. Here's Rock Cartwright out of Kansas State. Good block at the point by Mike Sellers, but not much more. They'll take over at their own 24-yard line. Patrick Bailey to stop. So, guys, when you take Jason Campbell and the way he's evolved in his fourth year, a lot of the passes, more this year, about 10% more, have been within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. Short, accurate stuff, typical of what you see in the West Coast offense. A dip in the passes in the medium, intermediate range, and then a larger dip in the downfield throws. And that has led to much better completion percentage, decision-making. The tutelage of Jim Zorn, we've really seen a quarterback remolded in this season. It's one of those short throws. It's complete to Chris Cooley at the 28-yard line.
Yeah, and Mike, that is the West Coast style of offense. The short passing game sets up the running game. And one thing about Jason Campbell, he's very judicious with the football. The number that absolutely stands out, 0 interceptions going into this game on 230 throws. I said he was the league MVP at this point in the season. People thought I was crazy. Because I've studied every game the Redskins have played. They would not be 6-2 without the steady hand, the steady play of Jason Campbell. I don't just look at the numbers. I look how he's handling the game. Got the team in the right place, running the football, pass protection. He's been doing it all very, very well.
Portis runs it for a first down.
People didn't think you were crazy because of that. People think you're crazy.
You did.
Well, I'll do a little inside baseball here. We get to talk each game with quarterbacks and coaches, and others as well, but always quarterbacks. Over the past 2 years, with all the quarterbacks that we've talked to, I've not seen anyone whose demeanor changed so much as Jason Campbell's. How more confident he was from this year looking back to last year. It was an utter wow for me.
From the 35 through the hands of Todd Yoder, the backup tight end, incomplete. So what do you attribute the transformation to?
Well, I mean, some might call it maturity. I wouldn't presume to get in his mind or anything like that. But I think it's the confidence that he feels that Zorn has in him.
So it's that guy.
I think it's Zorn because I don't think that last year, with Al Saunders as offensive coordinator, one thing Campbell said was, I could only read half the field. With Zorn, he lets me read the whole field. And I think it's that bond, special bond between a quarterback and a quarterback coach.
Second and 10, Portis. Good hit. Coming across from the defensive end spot by Brett Kiesel with a penalty marker down. It'll be no gain. Check Carl Sheffers again.
Number 61, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Casey Raubach, the center, is called there. I had the pleasure of covering Jason with Auburn. 13-0, his senior season team that should have been in the championship mix. They were not, won the Sugar Bowl. And he's been through 7 different offensive coordinators and systems in the last 8 years. You've probably heard that a lot. I think the marriage of these two guys has been one of the reasons Jason has picked up this game. He has the trust of the guy calling the plays. The others had to get to know him over time, and they evolved through that. Al Saunders last year. But with Jim Zorn, another quarterback, and those eyes behind him, they've developed a great trust. Right from those drills Jaws was showing us before, throwing bags at him in the summer. Almost that first interception of the season. Deshae Townsend deflected it. It's third and long.
To your point about Zorn's relationship with Campbell, Campbell told us the other day, it's one mind, one thought, one voice I hear on game day, and it's Coach Zorn's voice.
There's no question where the message is coming from. The guy who's the head guy is also calling the plays. He's also right behind you at every rep of practice saying, did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that?
See the field through the same eyes, and that's exactly what happened with Jim Zorn and Jason Campbell.
Oh, you're third and 20 here. A little pocket to throw from. It'll just be an underneath catch for Portis. James Farrior and the Steeler defense with a response. They have not allowed Zorn's team to convert a third down tonight. 0 for 7.
I don't want to say it's like a heavyweight fight and stretch an improper analogy, but it does have the feel of a fight, doesn't it? I mean, there's so many 3 and outs. It's like almost going to be about field position ultimately in the game.
The Punters Union is enjoying tonight. Line drive returnable. Holmes from the 30. 41-yard kick. He slipped and fell, and Kerry Campbell, the backup linebacker, makes the tackle at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, and Ben has really struggled this game to find his rhythm. Here, he gets the receiver open, throws the ball way to the inside. Here, the tip ball batted up in the air. You're going to get the pick. And then the pressure. Here's where the offensive line has let him down. Quick pressure. Ben is nowhere to go. The slants, the stunts, the twists are working. Here, Ben, normally a guy that escapes the pocket and picks up the first down. But looking for the throw downfield, Evans makes the sack. Been a rough night so far for Ben. But they haven't established the run, and he's having to carry the burden.
And from the 34, first down pass is intercepted and dropped as Carlos Rogers was counting the blades of grass to the end zone.
Carlos Rogers did an outstanding job. He knew he had LaRon Landry playing over the top. He read the 5-step drop of Ben Roethlisberger. The minute that back foot hit, he drove the route. Right now, Carlos Rogers is feeling it. He's reading the triangle of the drop of the quarterback with the peripheral vision, catching the wide receiver, and man, he is jumping the routes right now.
That is twice as painful in super slow-mo.
It's got to be the shoes, Money.
There you go.
Got to be the shoes.
He has dropped interceptions in the past. It's been one of the criticisms of Rodgers during his 3+ years in the league. Parker left. Oh, great moves. How's that knee feeling? He had to make all those moves to get out to the 40 and gain 6 yards.
You know, Mike, you were talking about Carlos Rogers dropping interceptions, but he's been thrown at prior to this game, targeted 69 times, only 33 complete against him, 47% completed against him. I mean, that's pretty darn good percentage. He's been playing terrific. He may not be getting interceptions, but boy, he's knocking a lot of balls down.
3rd down, Parker ambles off. Moore replaces him. Weldy Moore out of Tulane.
Once again, the Redskins showing blitz, but they back off.
And Roethlisberger to Hines Ward is deflected and incomplete. And the guy who delivers the big shots took one from London Fletcher and Fritz Spoot. He gets up. It's 4th down.
The Steelers right now have not been able to solve the blitz riddle. Until they do, the Redskins are going to continue to bring heat. Force Ben to get rid of the football quickly and drive on the football.
A lot of hard hitting tonight. A lot of punting tonight as well. This will be number 10, 6 for the Steelers. So I guess the long snapper, Rutkowski's got to figure out. He lost his helmet as he was being pushed to the ground. And the fair catch is made by Antoine Randall. Rutkowski was moving furniture this time last week.
Wow.
Getting a raise to $15 an hour in Texas. Well, Hines Ward had that big hit, took the big hit. He has given out the big hits over a good part of this year, and he and Troy Polamalu have been the center of attention by some. Polamalu making the comment about the league is trying to take away some of that, make it, in his words, Polamalu's words, a pansy game. Ward has the hit that injured Keith Rivers, the linebacker from Cincinnati, broke his jaw. A legal hit, but they've questioned if they should be fined for these hard yet legal hits. Campbell's pass to Santana Moss, complete to 31. It's a gain of 4.
That conversation that you're having about what Ward said, what Ward has done, and what Polamalu has said, that's a great sports talk radio conversation. And a lot of people out there sort of act like yahoos, including some ex-players, and they scream, it's too, you got to make it rough or put a dress on these people. I would just say that you want to try and protect your labor force. You got to worry about the health of the players.
I understand that aspect of it. The league is certainly trying to protect the players, but football is a violent game. It's called tackle football.
Casey
here's an example.
Yesterday.
Watch. Here's Brooks Bonds in the pocket. Justin Tucker wraps him up, actually pulls the arms back after the tackle. He gets called 15 yards for unnecessary roughness. This is tackle football, guys. That's what happens when the quarterback's standing here. He's going to take a hit. And normally, I defend the quarterbacks, but you just can't make it. You can't throw a flag on Justin Tucker.
Just suggesting that a lot of people who say this is tackle football are no longer being tackled. It's a distance that they have now, saying let's go back to the old days.
And I'm all for protecting the players, but if you take the violent element out of the game, what'll happen?
3rd down. Chris Cooley going to be very close to the 1st down. Farrior did a great job of holding him back. And it's going to be marked just shy, according to the official who came in from the side, and we'll have another 4th down and another punt. Pete Kendall's trying to tell him to go for it. Not in this game, Pete. Although Jim Zorn's had some strange play calls, atypical play calls that have worked on 4th down this year.
And he's not going from there, not on his own side of the field. No.
Somebody make a play in special teams. Like a block of a punt that is picked up by Ike Taylor, who lost it. William Gay has it, and the Steelers take over at the 13. Andre Frazier with the block.
We're living with a psychic here, Jaws. Tirico called that play before it happened. Maybe he's seen the game before.
Well, he saw the overload to the left side of the punter. He knew there was going to be some pressure. Just an outstanding job by the Steelers. And Tony, you are correct. Michael is a psychic.
He really is.
Well, not really. The guy's never had a punt blocked in his NFL career until that one. Has taken off his foot. by the linebacker Farrior. So a great opportunity. The fourth-year man out of Cincinnati came into the league the hard way, gives the Steelers the ball in the red zone. And Pittsburgh's been a good red zone team this year. From the 13, Roethlisberger pressured, sacked. Hedrick Golston comes through and pulls him down.
Well, Ben was in the pocket. He had ample time to start the play. At the top of his drop, he was looking right. You'll see it here again. Good pass protection. Now he looks over the middle. Now he starts buying a little time, and then the pocket collapses.
And good coverage downfield, too. Huh?
Usually what it is.
Man. Good defensive game so far. Redskins 6, Steelers 3. 2-minute warning.
College football lives here.
So honored to have Senator Barack Obama, Senator John McCain. They'll be joining Chris Berman coming up on our Toyota halftime show, so stay through for that. And of course, after the election vote, you can watch the vote counted on ABC. Tomorrow night, 7 Eastern, Charles Gibson, Diane Sawyer, George Stephanopoulos, and the rest of the ABC team will stay up until we have the 44th President of the U.S. Second and 12, they'll run with Willie Parker, who's knocked down by LaRon Landry at that safety spot. Penalty marker down. Back by the line of scrimmage. Did the Steelers hold?
Holding, number 78, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
He asks who. We tell him it's Max Starks, who's starting for Marvell Smith. Left tackle.
There you see Max Starks right there at the left tackle spot. Pretty good takedown of Andre Carter.
Almost like he had him at that standstill enough to get the hole, and as Carter turned, his arms were just in that position. It looks like a tackle.
Let him go. The running back should win once he gets that speed going downhill. LaRon Landry did a nice job of filling in the secondary.
And now the ball comes back to the 25-yard line. Empty out the backfield, second and 22. Roethlisberger pressured, got rid of it to Holmes, and Santonio knocked down by Chris Horton. And with Carlos Rogers, clock turns with 100 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, this is a situation where I think you're going to see Ben Roethlisberger spread the field. If he doesn't get a look that he wants, he may check to that quick passing game right here. You don't want to make a mistake. Throw the ball deep down the field in this 3rd 13 situation because you have to hold on to the football. I believe you'll also see the Redskins defense play a little more zone coverage here. Keep the ball in front of them.
Nate Washington, the man briefly in motion. 4 receiving options. A strike by Roethlisberger is caught by Ward at the goal line. He is just shy, but it's 1st and goal. It's 1st and goal, inches away. The all-time leading receiver in Steelers history thought he had career touchdown 69.
Just a really nice job by Ben Roethlisberger of getting the ball in the seam before Rogers and Landry can converge on Hines Ward. Put it on the body. Boy, that's a stick throw.
Steelers going to take time out here with 1st and goal. Right on the doorstep, and 35 seconds remaining till halftime. I will remind you that the Toyota halftime show is coming up, in the interview with the Democratic and the Republican nominee for president, Barack Obama, and John McCain coming up at the half. Here from D.C. I guess everybody at home, no matter what state you're in, it's a red state or a blue state, well, we'll know for sure what it is And this time tomorrow night.
Everywhere but here. This is a burgundy and gold state at the moment.
I'm not so sure about that.
With apologies to Jim Zorn, it's not a maroon and black state, which is what he said when he cheered the colors, the maroon and black, when he first got the job. And people said, what? What are you talking about? He's learned.
I see a lot of terrible towel flags here, though, Tony.
Yeah, I'm not happy with that, I have to say.
There's a lot of black and gold. So first and goal, let's look at the one timeout. 35 seconds left and how you manage this. Given that you have the timeout, you do have everything available to you.
Everything's available. No question. Everything is available.
The split Ward out. Davis joins Parker in the backfield. And we get a whistle. And a timeout taken by the Redskins, their last of the half.
Let me ask you this, because I know you say that everything is available, but historically, what the Steelers would do is hand the ball to a running back, clear a path, and that running back would go in untouched. I mean, do they have to hold true to that, or do you expect them to pass right away?
No, I think they'll run the football because they do have that timeout. That's the key. Say, the whole playbook is available now here in this area of the football field because you have that timeout.
I remember what Mike Tomlin said to us even last year about getting the job. He said, I believe in running the ball and stopping the run, and coincidentally, that is the historic philosophy of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So based on that, I would think he'd try to run it in.
Well, based on that, you're probably correct. But they haven't run the ball all that well tonight.
Well, they haven't run the ball in the real short yardage situations like 3rd and 1. They're only 1 of 8 on 3rd and 1. This is a 1st and goal, but on 3rd and 1 this year, only a Najee Davenport conversion in 8 tries. So this has been a problem area for this team this year.
Yeah, that's an awful conversion rate.
You got Big Ben, who's going to keep it and score, and the Steelers get the game's first touchdown.
So you don't need a running back, Tony.
When you got a guy who's 6'5" and weighs about 260 as a quarterback, he can wedge in there. I actually predicted that. I just didn't say it. I didn't want to embarrass Mike, who has predicted everything correctly all season.
Excellent surge by the Steelers offensive line, particularly Justin Hartwig. When you run that quarterback sneak, that center's got to get a stalemate, and he did.
So it'll be 10 unanswered points if Reed answers with this extra point. Remember the 2 field goals in the first 4 minutes of the game for the Redskins off an onside kick that failed and an interception. But the Steelers have responded and take the 4-point lead.
I asked Roethlisberger the other day if you feel undervalued at 5-2, and he said absolutely 100%. He said everybody's paying attention in the AFC anyway to the Colts and the Patriots and the Chargers. They're not doing what people expected, so they get talked about. And good, strong 5-2 and 6-2 teams like us and the Redskins aren't. And then he said it's like it's determined by where your games are positioned on SportsCenter. He said we're at the end, you know, like in other games. And he says that's how the Steelers feel this year, underappreciated, undervalued.
It's kind of interesting as Roethlisberger went up the tunnel early to get some treatment. Don't know if it's the thumb that's been bothering him or another injury, but what would happen here if the Steelers ended up getting a fumble recovery of some sort from the Redskins?
He'd have to come back.
Yeah, well,
Byron Leftwich.
Byron Leftwich.
He's ready to go.
As a matter of fact, Byron is throwing on the sideline just in case. So that touchdown set up by the block punt by Andre Frazier, and that puts Washington down 4.
Yeah, Mike, block punt and a great throw by Ben Roethlisberger. Here's what you love about Ben Roethlisberger. He has amnesia. He's been struggling yet on 3rd and 13. I mean, he strokes one in there to Hines Ward. That's a great throw. A lot of guys when they're struggling, you know, they'll take the check down, throw it away. Not Ben. He'll try to stick it in.
A little pooch here by Jeff Reed, and Rock Cartwright from the 20 gets it to the 32. Michelle Tafoya could update us on Ben. Michelle?
Well, as you mentioned, Mike, he just went into the locker room early, and it's probably to get as much time for treatment as possible. What we saw earlier in the game, early second quarter, watch this, as Ben follows through, his hand gets hit on an opponent's helmet, and you'll see him shake it out. And that may have been bothering him. Now, that's the throwing hand. The glove is on his non-throwing hand where the thumb injury happened last week. But we'll talk to Mike Tomlin at halftime and see exactly what's going on with the throwing hand, Mike.
Okay, Michelle, thanks. Ben wore that glove the whole Super Bowl year. So he said, back to that glove again. Maybe I'll have the same result. Washington out of timeouts, and Campbell dropped back to pass and is brought down by Lamar Woodley. We have 4 sacks by the Steelers in this first half. And I think Washington will pack it in and call it a half.
Well, Lamar Woodley just ran over John Jansen.
156 combined yards, fewest by 2 teams in the NFL in a game this season. Senators Obama and McCain coming up with Chris Berman at the half. 10-6. Pittsburgh starts the third quarter with the ball. Here's Boomer, Toyota halftime show.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. As expected, a rock'em sock'em affair the night before Election Day in the nation's capital. Well, usually at halftime we offer up our fastest 3 minutes in television, but we thought that on the eve of the presidential election, those minutes would be better spent visiting with the 2 candidates, Senator John McCain and Senator Barack Obama. Both were kind enough to oblige us on a rather busy day for them. Now, we should say that both interviews took place before it was learned that Senator Obama's grandmother, Madeline Dunham, passed away. Our condolences go out to the senator and his family. Earlier, I asked Senator Obama, after such a long campaign, looking back on it, what did you learn about yourself?
Well, you know what I learned about that I think was positive was that I don't get too high when things are going well, and I don't get too low when things are going tough. And I think that that has helped me and the organization stay steady. You know, we just try to run our game plan and don't get distracted too much. And I think that it's served us well. And hopefully, if I should have the honor of serving as president, that'll serve us well at a time when things are pretty tough. We've got a big economic problem out here. We've got 2 wars that are taking place, and hopefully the same kind of organization, the same kinds of steadiness I can bring to bear at the White House.
Senator, let's bring you into our arena for a moment. If you could change one thing in sports, what would that be?
I think it is about time that we had playoffs in college football. I'm fed up with these computer rankings and this and that and the other. Get 8 teams, top 8 teams right at the end. You got a playoff, decide on a national champion.
You could probably make that happen. What is the best piece of advice you received from the sports world? It could be any time in your life.
You know, I think that the best advice I got was when I was playing basketball in high school, and I was really somebody who had learned the game on the playgrounds. I was playing for a coach who, was cut from the Bobby Knight cloth, and I kind of rebelled against him a little bit. And at some point, he said to me, "Look, this is not about you; it's about the team." And it took me a while, I think, to really understand that, but that's how I've approached the work that I've done in politics ever since, is to say to myself, this is not about me, it's about people who are losing their homes or losing their jobs or trying to figure out how to retire with dignity or respect, that if you stay focused outside yourself, you get your ego out of the way, then you end up, I think, being able to do a better job.
Look, I know you're a big football fan. Your Chicago Bears are in first place. Maybe that's the omen you need for tomorrow. So good luck on Election Day. And Senator, thank you for spending time with us on Monday Night Football.
Listen, I'm very grateful, and thanks all. I hope everybody goes out, whether you're voting for Senator McCain or myself. This is a big election. Make sure your voice is heard.
Coming up next, our interview with Senator John McCain. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
This halftime show is presented by Toyota. Moving forward.
Saved by Zero.
Now.
Doesn't know what the status of Roethlisberger is yet. He told me Byron Leftwich, the backup, is getting ready to play. And they also said that with Leftwich in, nothing would change. At this point, we have not seen Roethlisberger making his way back onto the field. There is a small chance he will come back out and play. So that's what we're going to be keeping an eye on. Again, x-rays happened. We don't know which hand it is. We're all waiting for that. Even public relations for the Steelers doesn't know yet. Mike?
Okay, Michelle. Woodley Moore is back deep to receive. Byron Leftwich is the backup, 6th year out of Marshall. They signed him late in the preseason when Charlie Batch was injured and moved to injured reserve out for the year. So change for the Steelers on top by 4. Sean Sweezum to kick. Moore takes it from the 5. And Woodley Moore returns it out to the 28-yard line. So Byron Leftwich, and here he is, a D.C. kid. I guess he would be a Washington insider, if you will, on this politically themed night. H.D. Woodson High School in D.C. Played football, basketball, and baseball. And, of course, you know, out of Marshall, where he had that very good run and the very tough stretch. Remember, he was carried by his offensive lineman down the field. We've talked about it many times. The run in Jacksonville, then David Garrard won the starting spot in 07. Took over for him. He was released. 3 games with Atlanta, and now picked up after the Batch injury by the Steelers and thrown in against a team he undoubtedly grew up rooting for, the Washington Redskins. And the first play is a run with Willie Parker. Fred Smoot tackles him. Gain of about 5 on first down. So Michelle said not much changes. What about play calling in your mind, Ron?
Yeah, I think it'll change a little bit. The one thing you had about Ben Roethlisberger is the ability to extend the play. You know, when you look at size and stature, you have that with Byron Leftwich, 6'5", 250 pounds. But he's not the quick twitch guy that Roethlisberger was. He can move around and make plays by hanging the pocket. So I think you'll see a quicker passing game. Let Leftwich get the ball out of his hand.
As Roethlisberger jogs back onto the field. Leftwich on 2nd and 4 gives it to Parker. Right at the first down line. Lee Torrance, the starting corner, made the tackle.
I have rooting interest in this. Michael Wilbon is one of the idols of Byron Leftwich. Wilbon spoke at his high school. When he was just a kid, he said, I want to grow up to be just like you. And I thought, oh my God, does this mean I have another guy on PTI I have to deal with?
Well, didn't Byron tell him you'll be breaking me down someday on ESPN? Yeah. And we are.
Yeah.
Michelle, give us an update in a second. You mentioned 3rd and 1, how they have struggled like no other team in this down and distance this year. And Najee Davenport, who picked up the only one, is there. And he's got it. And his second effort got it done. First down, Pittsburgh. Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Roethlisberger wasn't the only one in the x-ray room at halftime. Starting tight end Heath Miller was in there as well, Mike, and he is out on the bench. He's got ice around his right calf and ankle. Mike Tomlin told me that it hurts when he pushes off, so he is a big question mark. He could go if they needed him. His x-rays were negative, but as you can see there with that ice on it, it doesn't look promising.
So we'll see a lot of Matt Spaeth in all likelihood at tight end, along with Sean McHugh. The Steelers dress 3 tight ends. Shane Miller's such a good tight end. He's been asked to block a lot because of all the pressure the Steelers have seen this year. So a first down done on the ground. The diving attempt is missed by Rocky McIntosh, and the deep ball to Nate Washington gets it to the 11, a pickup of 50 yards. That is 4 straight games with a big gain by Washington.
Well, on first down, Nate Washington has been a big-time player. On first down, he has 6 catches for 153 yards and 2 touchdowns. What a play right there by Byron Leftwich. He saw the blitz coming in his face, did not flinch as Rocky McIntosh came flying over Willie Parker, grabbed his jersey, slid down the street. Look at Byron hang in the pocket. Finds Washington down the field, and there's the big, strong arm, able to launch the ball deep down the field.
First and 10 here is Parker. We're about 3.5 to the 7.5. Michelle, what do you have on Ben?
Well, we just learned that Ben, it's his shoulder, his right shoulder. And when he went to cheer for that big pass by Leftwich, he could only lift his left arm. He's keeping that right arm completely still. He's questionable, Mike.
Nice job, MT. Thanks. Here is exactly what you're talking about. It's the left arm cheer from Roethlisberger. Steelers play Indianapolis and San Diego the next couple of weeks. the value of a veteran who started 46 NFL games. Leftwich. The cue, now the backup tight end was in motion. Leftwich throwing. Antonio Holmes tangles feet with Carlos Rogers. That's no flag. It's incomplete. Third down.
We don't know the extent of Roethlisberger's injury, but isn't it funny how the arc of this season so far has a lot to do with quarterbacks getting injured? Tom Brady in the first game. Tony Romo, you see the suffering of the Dallas Cowboys without him. Carson Palmer pretty much gone for the whole season, right? And again, if Roethlisberger is significantly hurt, at least 3 of those teams are Super Bowl contending teams who are missing their quarterbacks for large amounts of time.
First down awaits at the 1. 4-man rush. Leftwich reloads. Throws complete. That's going to be the first down from Woodley Moore. So the third down back, Moore got it. And it's first and goal, Pittsburgh.
Once again, excellent poise by Byron Leftwich in the pocket. As the pocket was collapsing around him, here's what 6'5" can do for you. You see over the top, he's waiting on Moore, waiting on Moore. Pumps once, pumps twice. Now he sees Moore and delivers a perfect throw. Moore goes up over Washington and makes the catch.
People may have forgotten that when he was drafted by Jacksonville, I believe that was in the top 10 overall, right, Mike? He was a franchise quarterback. He got big money to go there. Yes, he got beaten out by David Garrard, but when he got out of college at Marshall, Leftwich was considered, if not a surefire prospect, a big-time prospect at quarterback.
Well, he was a very good prospect, but he had that big, elongated delivery and lack of mobility. That's what's hurt him at the NFL level. He can spin the football with him, but you've seen a couple throws already.
So he can't get rid of it fast enough?
Problem is a little slow delivery, which allows defenders to get a pretty good jump on him.
And it's one of the reasons I think he had a lot of ankle injuries during his career, because his feet would always be there in the pocket for guys to get at.
Took a lot of hits.
Another nice drive here. Trey Essex in the game for the Steelers. And an extra lineman. First and goal. It is Parker. It is touchdown, Pittsburgh. And it feels like we're in Western Pennsylvania.
It's a pretty impressive comeback in this game by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Almost out of it early. Their defense held on 2 circumstances. Held field goals for the Redskins when the Redskins were in striking distance. Gradually, they eroded that lead, came back with a big play of their own on a block punt. Now 2 touchdowns in a row.
And domination on the offensive line right there on the goal line situation. We talked about their inability to get short yardage. They got it there. The left side of the line dominated.
Willie Parker, who had a very good first couple of weeks of the season, missed the last 4 with injury. Nice for him to get back in the end zone. Ooh, a knuckleball is no good. So there are very few extra points missed in the NFL this season, and Jeff Reed just missed one there for Pittsburgh. That could be big later on. It's a 10-point game. Roethlisberger out. Leftwich leads an 8-play, 72-yard touchdown drive.
Whoa. Is it me or are we sinking?
We're sinking.
By the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. The phenomenal 4 from Mitsubishi. 4 cars, 4 cylinders, 0 compromises. And Universal Pictures' hilarious new comedy, Role Models, in theaters Friday.
Well, they will truly be measuring the drapes for a new resident of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. I wonder what this night is like for the current president, for George Bush. As you know, after tomorrow, you're going to understand who's coming into your residence. 8-play, 72-yard drive, the Leftwich 50-yard pass. The extra point missed by Reed, 3rd of his career, 3rd in the NFL this season. Rock Cartwright and the Redskins down 10. And a nice return from Cartwright will give Washington the ball at their own 33-yard line. And we have a marker down in the return.
During the return, holding number 48 of the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down, Washington.
Chris Portis
Timeout
is flagged. will step out, and Jason Campbell and the Redskins have dug themselves out of some holes earlier this year. They'll have to do it again.
Great job, guys. Great job. Judges.
Nice moves.
Tune into the best team in football. Sunday NFL Countdown presented by IBM, Sundays at 11.
They call them the golden years. But for thousands of Oregonians, they're being tarnished.
Doctors are kicking seniors out of their practices so they don't have to accept Medicare. When they turn 65, patients are forced to pay out of pocket or find a new doctor.
Brent Barton knows it's wrong. He'll lead the fight to change it.
Growing up, I was taught to respect my elders. I'll demand every Oregon doctor follows that simple rule too.
Brent Barton for state representative. A new voice. Our voice.
When I think about my son's future, I worry more than just toy boats are floating away. Unfortunately, too many Oregon jobs are floating away to foreign countries. It's time to finally end tax breaks for companies that ship our jobs overseas, and to raise the $10 corporate minimum tax so companies making millions in profits pay their fair share. If we protect Oregon's jobs now, we'll see ripple effects for our kids.
Toby Forsberg, beyond business as usual.
When it comes to Oregon ballot measures, who do you trust? Teachers, firefighters, and nurses, or Bill Sizemore? Sizemore committed racketeering and fraud and makes money by getting measures on the ballot. Sizemore's Measure 64 would hurt our nurses and undermine firefighters' ability to help in emergencies. And Measures 58 and 60 take local control away from our schools. Sizemore's measures have unintended consequences that would hurt us all. Vote no on Sizemore's Measures 58, 60, and 64.
The Washington Redskins erased the deficit to come back and beat New Orleans, the home opener here, 29-24. Remember, Philadelphia, they fell behind very first quarter by a couple of scores to the Eagles. So they've dug themselves out of 10-point deficits already this year. Clinton Portis, his first carry, gain of a couple of yards. He had 36 in the first half.
Yeah, Jason Campbell's been getting pummeled in the pocket here. No one open downfield. He takes a sack. Here, once again, meet me at the quarterback. Both linebackers here outside the pocket. Throw it away. Don't take a sack when you're out on the perimeter outside the pocket. Once again here, John Jansen getting beat by Lamar Woodley. Right now, Jason Campbell not playing well at the quarterback position, but as Mike just alluded to, he's rallied his team twice this season.
Second down, going down again. Lamar Woodley, 5 sacks for the Steelers, and Campbell thrown to the ground. He slowly picks himself up.
The one thing you can't replicate, you can practice this all you want. You can draw things on the board. You can't replicate the speed with which these linebackers attack the quarterback. You see the athleticism of Lamar Woodley, then that quick stepper there. Watch him, just quick right on top of Jason Campbell. You can practice all you want. You can't replicate that.
Woodley and Harrison getting close to a combined 20 sacks, and Dick LeBeau, the 70-year-old defensive coordinator, a half-century of consecutive service in the league, dialing him up one more time. Campbell comes back the other way, not going anywhere. That pass for Portis. It'll be 4th down, and the Redskins will kick it. Dick LeBeau's defense, they have set the standard year in, year out in this league. And Washington just 1 first down in its last 7 possessions.
Yeah, Dick LeBeau has been terrific at dotting up his fire zones, and he really is the father of the blitz scheme. You know, I talk about Sid Gilman, the father of the modern-day passing game. When you talk about the zone blitz schemes, they've been about Dick LeBeau.
Ryan Plackmeyer had a punt blocked in the first half that led to the last Pittsburgh touchdown. Good one away here, but room for Holmes to return it from his own 45. Brock Cartwright chases him down after Kareem Moore tripped him. But the Steelers, who have flipped the field, will start on Washington's side again. Jim Zorn looking for some answers on offense.
In a world overwhelmed.
Memorial here in D.C. We're technically not in D.C. We're in Landover, Maryland. About a dozen miles or an hour drive at the wrong time away from those beautiful monuments. Byron Leftwich in at quarterback. Ben Roethlisberger, shoulder injury in the first half, finished the half, gave them the lead. Leftwich scored on the first drive of the quarter. London Fletcher dragging down Willie Parker. Another good game for Fletcher.
Big defensive series for the Redskins. They've been on the field an awful lot this evening right now. You see their offense struggling. The defense has to make a play.
See those numbers go by for Washington. Anemic 61 yards, 0 of 9 in third down conversions. And there's one you don't see drives without a first down. Wow. Steeler defense living up to its stat line. Best in the league. They hand it to Nate Washington. Well played by the fundamentally sound Redskin defense. Carlos Rogers not buying any of that fake stuff. Loss of 6.
Yeah, and Demetric Evans did a really good job of staying at home. We talked about defense. It's all about gap discipline. You'll see number 92, Demetric Evans. He knows he's got the reverse and the boot by the quarterback. He stays at home and makes a great play.
The Redskin defense has that one long pass interference, the one pass to Nate Washington. Other than that, they've played solid. Can they come up with a big play? Run more. Nowhere.
Pittsburgh's going backwards on that drive. Both defenses have been great.
Chris Wilson made the tackle. Demetric Evans hobbling off.
Yeah, once again, you see the slants, the stunts, and the twist by the Redskins defensive line and linebackers, and it's all about penetration, and they got it on that series.
Runs of -1, -6, -4 on that series.
Yeah, they got penetration, Mike.
Redkowski, the first NFL game as the deep snapper, has been good tonight. The burger boot, very returnable for Randall from the 23. A good hard hit. Provides not much more. That Spaeth, the tight end, came down with that hit.
They learn it here, and here, even here. So we're working to end it here.
Michelle Eberly, leading efforts in middle schools to stop the cycle of domestic violence. Michelle Eberly, providing a safe haven for abused women and kids. Michelle Eberly, putting police on the streets of West Lynn around the clock.
For me, protecting our families is a 24-hour job.
Michelle Eberly for state representative, watching out for us 24/7.
Mike Erickson is a real piece of work, a work of fiction. He faked endorsements, exaggerated his resume, was kicked off the ballot, and he even misled his allies about his true abortion position. Then there's the trip to Cuba that Erickson claimed was humanitarian, but it was filled with cigars, parties, and nightclubs. Mike Erickson, fact or fiction, he's pretty scary. The Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Brakes. The most important system in your car. If you're experiencing symptoms of worn brakes, noise or grinding, pulsation, brake grab, or if your brake pedal needs excessive pressure, come into Les Schwab for a free brake inspection. If your brakes need service, we do it right, we do it complete. Repairing, resurfacing, replacing, and adjusting. All backed by our full parts and labor guarantee. Les Schwab Brake Service. If we can't guarantee it, we won't sell it.
Next Monday night to the desert. See if Mike Singletary and Frank Gore can wake up the 49ers. What are you looking at, Kornheiser?
I thought you were going to go, let's see if Mike Singletary can keep all his clothes on. That's what I was hoping you were going there.
That'll be the good report of what happened in the locker room at halftime, right?
Yeah.
The first place Arizona Cardinals. Looks like they're going to be a playoff team if the second half holds up. See them with your own eyes next Monday night at University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale. All right, what do you have, Redskin offense? Campbell to Portis. Out of the gate with a gain of 4. Farrior the tackle.
You talked about earlier, Mike, whether the Redskins could make up the deficit. I should remind you on the eve of election that you can make up an entire federal deficit with a stroke of a presidential pen. That's going to be a lot easier than the Redskins going down the field tonight because they are not moving it at all.
Well, the Steelers came in with the #1 defense in the National Football League, and they certainly have lived up to that billing.
Jim Zorn, who calls his own plays, dials up a Portis run. It's very shy of just a yard shy of the first down. Farrior, who had 11 tackles last week, has been involved in more than a half dozen here tonight. Second in the league in the Defensive Player of the Year voting in 2004. A guy who came over from the Jets, and you know, we always talk about Troy Polamalu and his play on defense. Woodley and Harrison, the linebackers on the outside, getting the job done. But he's on the field every down, never gets the credit he deserves, but is the, I think, centerpiece of what Pittsburgh does defensively. Third and one. Cooley coming with Campbell. Got it. First down. Near midfield. Fourth first down of the half, Washington.
Yeah, Jim Zorn dialed up the right play there. He got the fast, slow defense going one way. Bootleg Jason Campbell out the backside. And you'll see the crossing route for number 47 after the play flake. Chris Cooley coming out. Polamalu just couldn't catch up. Troy was trying to make the play on the run as well as the pass. Good play call on a third and short situation.
Been quiet for Santana Moss and Antoine Randall L. thus far tonight. In fact, Moss not on the field here. Portis with a run, and Chris Hoke did a nice job when Casey Hampton was out playing the nose, makes the tackle there. Now to Brigham Young.
Zorn calling plays. He said he wanted to be a play caller. Told us, he said, I feel I have, you know, the next play on the tip of my tongue all the time. That was the position he wanted. He thought he'd get it as offensive coordinator. I don't think he ever thought he would be the head coach of this team when they made him that offer.
Screen, Portis. Oh, great block. Springing Portis for the first down to the 31-yard line. Casey Robach, the center, with one of the two blocks. Pete Kendall as well. The gain was 16.
And an excellent job by Lawrence Timmons coming from the backside and making the play. Because once Clinton Portis broke through the initial blocks, it looked like he had a lot of green grass in front of him, but Timmons ran him down.
James Harrison went up. Pete Kendall said, thank you. You're coming down. Easier for me to catch you. The best looking drive the Redskins have had. They've got 2 first downs on this drive. From the 30, Campbell off the hands of Portis. There's the first interception of the year, but then it is dropped and recovered by the Steelers. I think they're going to rule that a pick and a fumble.
And we might have roughing the quarterback, possibly.
There's a marker down by Campbell. James Harrison had the hit, but let's see who the flag's going to be on.
Or holding against the Redskins.
Yeah. First thing they have to decide, was it an interception and a fumble recovered by Pittsburgh?
The ruling on the field is that the ball was intercepted. The holding by number 60 on the offense is declined. First down, Pittsburgh.
Absolutely a clean interception and a fumble recovered by the Steelers. That ends the streak of passes without an interception by Jason Campbell.
Are you so sure of this? I am not totally convinced he had control of the football. Let's take a look.
I'm going to say yes. Let's see what the Redskins think about it during the timeout.
You have to log 150 hours of community service.
Being a good role.
I just don't see the complete control of the football. It looked like his hand was sliding down. Take a look at it from this angle.
Got the football, bobbling it. You just don't see the control yet. See, that's about as close as you get, but the ball is still sliding out, and then Portis punches it out.
I want you to watch it real speed, and I'll tell you about a conversation in a second. Couple of things. Did you think if that was an offensive player, would you say that was a reception? Keep that in mind. And secondly, Mike Pereira, I talked to him this week. He said you have to think about it real speed, not the super slow-mo looks that we give you on our show. Think about it. You decide. Timeout.
$5 foot long. $5 foot long. It's good going strong.
Subway, home of the famous $5 footlong, like our fresh toasted Black Forest ham with cheese and our newest $5 footlong, the Fresh Delicious Chicken Pizziola. $5 footlongs, all day, every day.
At Subway.
And there's the snap. McPherson drops back. He dodges his tackle. He barely catches the way. And wow, what a catch by He crosses midfield. He takes the hard end turn to the ball through. Wait, gets the ladder on the road. Breaks the tackle at the 10, the 5, one man to beat.
Photography is a journey. How will you remember the trip? The Rebel XSI, inspired by Canon.
World record holder Michael Phelps is the fastest swimmer ever. So I've come to this aquatic center to challenge him to a race on the internet. I'll be using this 3G AT&T Laptop Connect card. He won't. So I can download inventory reports faster, email business proposals faster, all on the go. I'm Bill Curtis, and I'm faster than Michael Phelps.
Switch to the nation's fastest 3G network and get the AT&T Laptop Connect card for free.
Okay, is it a turnover? Does it go back to Washington? Carl Sheffers.
The defender had clear possession of the ball with 2 feet down. The ruling on the field stands. It is an interception. Pittsburgh has the ball, 1st and 10. Washington will be charged with a timeout.
And they'll lose a challenge. Redskins only have 1 challenge remaining between now and the 2-minute warning in the 4th quarter.
Disagree, Jaws?
Not necessarily. You know, I mean, I did not see clear possession, but again, we're looking at super slow right there.
But isn't that how they decided?
I think by that live look, it kind of gave us the indication that it was. So 2 streaks, NFL records end, no picks, 12 regular season games by a team, and the 379 consecutive passes by the Redskins as a team without an interception. Both come to an end with that pass that was deflected by Portis, but it was high. So you do blame the quarterback for not delivering in the right spot. Meantime, Leftwich is brought down by the good-looking rookie, Chris Horton, taken with the 249th pick of this past year's draft.
Well, I think right now the Redskins realize their offense is struggling. They're going to have to make something happen on the defensive side of the ball. You see Chris Horton just blowing up the middle. Kerry Davis tries to block him, doesn't get the job done. I'm telling you, this kid, Chris Horton, has been playing terrific football as a pass defender, a run defender. As you can see right there, he can also bring the heat on the blitz.
3 picks, a sack, fumble recovery, 3rd on this team in tackles. Pretty good productivity for pick 249 in the draft, I'd say. Credit Vinny Serrato. GM of the Redskins, Parker, diving ahead for about 3 yards. Rocky McIntosh made the tackle. 3rd and long coming up. And if you're just tuning in saying, where's Ben Roethlisberger? Played through the first half, injured his shoulder, x-rayed at halftime. It's been the Washington, D.C. native Leftwich taking over from this point on.
That's a story that writes itself. If Leftwich wins this game for the Steelers, it's the easiest story in the world to write. Local kid.
First down awaits at the 33. Here comes 6 Redskins. And the big windup for Leftwich, completes it at the line for a first down to Santonio Holmes in front of Carlos Rogers.
Well, an excellent job by the Steelers' offensive line. All too often when defenses have brought pressure, they have not been able to pick it up. They did a really good job of picking up the pressure. Leftwich does a great job of hanging in the pocket. And boy, does he bring it. Look at him spin it, Tony. This is a great throw by Byron Leftwich. Big, long, elongated delivery. Look at this, drops that ball almost down to his knee, but since he had one-on-one coverage in the outside, corner could not look in the backfield.
Yeah, if you're pass rushing from the blind side, you got to know from the waist down, you can slap at the ball if he's winding up and knock it down. Got to get there first. Parker on the edge, chased down by Laron Landry. Carlos Rogers dumps him with a good gain of 8. Michelle Tafoya again.
Well, getting back to Ben Roethlisberger, again, the public relations people from the Steelers have said it's a shoulder and he's questionable. Obviously, he has not been back in the game. But a source, Mike, told me that when Ben went into the x-ray room at halftime, he said it felt like my shoulder popped out. So that's about the only indication we have as to exactly what happened to Ben Roethlisberger. It could have happened on that quarterback sneak before halftime, Mike.
And Michelle, good point. You go back to the beginning of the season, and Ben had that shoulder that was bothering him after the Houston game, going into the Cleveland game. A slight separation of the AC joint of his shoulder. Second and 2. That is Portis again. All Pac-10 out of UCLA. Great game against St. Louis and New Orleans and Dallas, and here against Pittsburgh tonight.
I want to go back to something with you, Jaws, if possible. So that motion that Leftwich has, right? That motion is too much for a quarterback. It's great for a baseball pitcher, but it's too much for a quarterback.
It's a slow delivery, and corners can peer back into the backfield. They can see that ball drop down, and they can get a jump on the throw. It's just too slow, and I said at draft day he needed to quicken up his delivery. He is not. He got a strong arm, but he's got to get the ball out of his hand a lot quicker, be more consistent at this level.
Fourth game he's playing in this year. Complete to Moore. Got a block from Holmes. First down into Washington territory as the quarter comes to an end.
Looks like he's playing pretty well.
He's playing terrific, and I love this right here. He moves outside the pressure, finds Moore out in the flat. Excellent field vision, seeing the field with clarity.
He made the 250-mile trip from Pittsburgh, and on the road, the Steelers lead by 10 after 3. It has been a defensive battle on the eve of Election Night 2008, just outside of our nation's capital. Starting quarterback out for Pittsburgh. Steeler defense getting the job done. Pittsburgh leads by 10. D.C. native Byron Leftwich stepping in. Clinton Portis, the leading rusher in the league, has been held to just 48 yards by the Pittsburgh defense. Mike Tirico, Ron Jaworski, Tony Kornheiser, Michelle Tafoya. We begin the fourth with a 1st and 10 for Leftwich. Steps up, Moore has a ton of room. Moelde Moore with nobody around him to the 23-yard line. Everybody went long. Moore leaped out. Leftwich took a shot, but completes it for 25.
An incredible job by Byron Leftwich. The play design is off play action. Try to get a big play down the field. You see the play action fake to Moelde Moore. He doesn't have it downfield. The last minute, the pocket collapses. Moelde Moore checks out of the backfield and I'm going to say Roethlisberger, but it's not Roethlisberger. It's a play made by Byron Leftwich that looked like Ben Roethlisberger.
I don't ever remember seeing somebody that open underneath. Gosh. Leftwich 5 of 6. Good numbers. And Moore takes it close to the red zone. What's on the table tonight? Steelers win. They lead the Ravens by a full game in the AFC North. Surprising start with John Harbaugh's team first half of the year. And the Redskins need to win this one to stay within a half game of the Giants. You see the imbalance with the byes. Washington's bye comes up this week. And then they play Dallas in a couple of weeks on Sunday night here.
Listen to the noise in the stadium. It sounds like a home game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's very odd.
From the 20, Leftwich, he's getting time. Fires for Holmes, incomplete. With Carlos Rogers over there covering. Well, Santonio Holmes returning to the lineup for the Steelers today. He was suspended for 1 game, misdemeanor count of possession for a small amount of marijuana and a traffic stop 10 days ago. He's not in the NFL system because that was a first offense, but the Steelers stepped out and made something happen.
Mike Tomlin said, I don't have a bunch of rules. If you do, you have to enforce them. I don't have time for that. I have one rule. Don't be the guy. Everyone has a general understanding of what I mean by that. He was the guy.
Don't be the guy. That was loud and clear.
Don't be the guy. Great explanation.
Timeout taken here by Pittsburgh. When we saw them a month ago, he was the second youngest coach in sports. When Lane Kiffin relieved of his duties in Oakland, and that's really worked out well for them, hasn't it? And now Tomlin's the youngest again. Timeout Pittsburgh.
The secret's out this Sunday. What? Because Kung Fu Panda comes with even more of what you love.
FedEx.com/Pro Bowl.
90,512 here in FedEx Field, and tonight's aerial coverage is provided by DirecTV.
About 80,000 of them drove from Pittsburgh, it sounds like.
And all of them are going in front of your house on the way by to slow your process home down.
Exactly.
Leftwich banged up on that big completion to Moore a moment ago. Third quarterback, Dennis Dixon, Oregon rookie, warming up. 3rd and 8. 4 in the pattern. Time again from Leftwich. Complete to Hines Ward. It did come down? No. Redskins trying to wave it off, but a strike by Leftwich. 1st and goal, Pittsburgh.
Remind me again, which contender does the Steelers win favor? Which senator wins as a result of that? How's that work if the Steelers win? Who's it good for?
Obama.
Okay.
And you see Ward had that arm underneath the ball.
Excellent catch.
Yep.
Excellent throw by Byron Leftwich. Low into the outside where only his receiver could make a play. Hines Ward gets some numbers down to the football and makes the catch.
Steelers up 10. Looking to add more. Llewellyn Moore took it to the 5. It was not exactly a transaction that stopped the NFL world when Llewellyn Moore signed with Mike Tomlin's team. But remember, Mike Tomlin is 1 year in Minnesota as the defensive coordinator for Brad Childress. Saw Moore as a 3rd down back there and was added to this team this year. And little did he know, Willie Parker gets hurt. And then in the Monday night game we had against Baltimore, there was a shot right away to Rashard Mendenhall on the first play of the second half by Ray Lewis that knocked Mendenhall out for the season, broke his shoulder. So Moore became the guy, and he did pretty well in those 3 starts. Over 300 yards. 2nd and goal. Hot to Holmes, who's got it for the touchdown. They gave him space and they took it. And the Steelers lead by 16 on the road.
You know what this sort of feels like? Is somewhere in the Steelers, somebody said the following: we can't be the doormats of the NFC East. We have 4 shots against them. We've been beaten up pretty badly by the Giants, beaten up pretty badly by the Eagles. We got to go to Washington and win one of these games to be taken seriously.
Great look at that play, and they gave him space on that side over there,
yeah,
Josh.
Very surprising, Mike, that, it almost seemed like Carlos Rogers fell asleep.
Reed missed the last extra point, knocks this one through. And after trailing 6-0, 4 minutes in the game, the Steelers have run off 23 points. 12 plays on that touchdown drive to Holmes.
Trey Wingo here. Join us Tuesday on NFL Live. Titans running back Chris Johnson of undefeated Tennessee will join us. And, of course, we'll be here all week long breaking down the Week 10 matchups. NFL Live, Mondays 3:30, Tuesday through Friday, 4.
So in a game where there was not a lot of long drives being sustained, offense being sustained either way, Byron Leftwich is coming in with 2 big drives, including a 12-play 77-yarder here. He's done quite well filling in for Ben Roethlisberger, and the Steelers lead by 17 with less than 12 minutes left in the game.
Really speaks to the value of a good, solid backup quarterback in the NFL.
Brock Cartwright from the 5. Squeezing through to the 33, and starter James Harrison on teams made the tackle.
And Mike, you got to see this play. Here's what I talk about clarity. Byron Leftwich, the running play. He saw Carlos Rogers 7 yards off Santonio Holmes. He dropped back and threw him the football. This is great awareness by your quarterback. A lot of young guys in a situation like that run the running play called, try to get the touchdown. He saw Carlos Rogers a good 7 yards off. Santonio Holmes just took 1 step back and threw the ball to Holmes. You get a touchdown. Great awareness by Byron Leftwich.
And he has to get that inside or over the top of the pylon. Remember that whole deal when the pylon would extend around the world? They changed that rule to you got to get the ball inside the pylon there or over the top of it, and he did. Can they make something happen on offense? Campbell to Portis gets it going, a 1st down, past midfield. Portis down the sideline. It's one of the bigger games of the night for the Redskins. They need points in a hurry. They need 3 scores.
That play was very similar to Memelde Moore's reception a few moments ago for the Steelers. All of a sudden, the defense expands deep down the field. Your back escapes out the backfield. He's there for the check down. Takes a 5-yard pass for 25 yards.
Campbell, back to Portis. Was that ever caught? No, incomplete. Incomplete. Never secured by Portis. And they are unable to get the ball downfield. A continued absence of Santana Moss, who came into the game with a hamstring problem. We saw him for a good bit of the first half, but have seen almost none of Moss here in the second half.
Yeah, and what I'm seeing consistently out of Jason Campbell this evening are high throws. High throws, bouncing off hands, got 1 interception. He's thrown a couple balls behind receivers. You know, when you throw the ball short, you don't want to throw it high, because with it's tipped in the air, you're going to get interceptions.
That's what happened earlier this half with Portis. Deep shot for the rookie. No chance for Devin Thomas to get around Ike Taylor. We have a penalty marker down.
Holding, number 60, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Chris Samuels, the left tackle.
Well, right now, the Steelers defense, they can just kick their heels back and they can attack Jason Campbell. Those linebackers, James Harrison and Lamar Woodley, coming off the edge, they are very, very difficult when they have to play the run and the pass. When they can just attack the quarterback, look out. They love playing in a known situation, knowing the quarterback must throw the football.
Four-man twisting rush, and they get to Campbell for the 6th time tonight. 6 sacks, more than Campbell's been sacked in any game in his NFL career.
Yeah, Mike, you said a mouthful. You said a 4-man rush. They're not even bringing extra linebackers and safety. They just do a real good job with the discipline of their defense. You see Woodley from the outside. You see Harris from the outside pushing Campbell back up the middle. And who's there waiting? Aaron Smith, Brett Kiesel.
Pittsburgh's doing to Campbell what the other NFC East teams did to Roethlisberger for 2 games.
That is correct.
The Steelers are no sack slouches, coming in second in the league with 25. They're now at 31 sacks in half a season. Campbell threw it on the run. It's caught by Cooley, well short of a first down. They're at the 37 on 4th down with 10:20 to go. Down 3 scores.
What do you do? Go for it, Chip?
Yeah,
George?
probably one of those situations. Yep. You're gonna have to roll the dice a little bit and start gambling on 4th down. Obviously, Jim Zorn, look at his play calling sheet. They are going to go for it.
Zorn has done some atypical things on 4th down this year. This one, you just play the game situation. It's an easy decision. Got to go for it here. Steeler fans making the noise. Pressure coming from Deshae Townsend. And they force him to get rid of it. And a penalty marker down near Campbell. Let's see what this will be.
Well, if it's on the Steelers, it's going to be a dumb penalty. But let's see.
It's either going to be roughing the passer or intentional grounding. They asked to see if the ball went near the line of scrimmage on the pass by Campbell. And here's Carl Sheffers.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer, number 51 of the defense.
Wow.
Contact with the helmet. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Well, Mike Tomlin, when he said, "Are you kidding me?" maybe didn't hear Sheffer say contact with the helmet by James Farrior. Watch for 51's headgear. It's helmet-to-helmet contact, and by the rule book, that's
automatic.
What you call.
It's automatic, right? You have to call, George?
Yes. Helmet-to-helmet contact is going to be called.
Not a pansy league situation?
No. You can see Jason Campbell got jarred. It's helmet-to-helmet. They're going to call that, and that is the right call.
So on first down, the hot out to Devin Thomas, who is taken out by William Gay. Lost some yards.
And what a tremendous play by William Gay on the quick screen. Avoided the block and made the play for a loss. This Steeler defense is flying tonight.
Mike Tomlin 3 times. We only have the camera on him 3 times. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding?
No, we're not kidding. It was helmet to helmet. You could lift it.
Second and 12 from the 23. Here is Campbell. Too high for Cooley. And incomplete. Redskins saying that Santana Moss is available. He's not out because of injury. I find that hard to believe. I think you'd get him on the field at some point here in this half. Tomlin's still angry about the call. And the Steelers got a visit from Ray Anderson, who handles discipline for the NFL. I spoke with Roger Goodell at our Monday Night Football luncheon today in D.C., and he told me he sent down Ray Anderson, much like he sent down Ray as a representative to Baltimore when they had some issues a few years ago with what was going on, just to explain to the players why these fines and penalties kept coming up, so they at least understood where the league was coming from. Third and a dozen. Cooley, first down. First and goal, Washington. They'll mark forward progress inside the 9.
You know, I talked to myself a lot, so I was saying, where's Chris Cooley been? Finally, they get to Chris Cooley.
It's great that you talk to yourself a lot. We can put you in a subway car, let you go up and down. Just talking to yourself, scaring all the other passengers.
And here's the frustration bubbling on the Pittsburgh sideline. We had them off the field with a blitz. Hadn't blitzed much. Now we got them off the field. And that was helmet-to-helmet contact by the book. It's an exact call, a correct call, I should say. Now, are they going to come and score and change the tempo of the game? Portis sent out as a wide receiver and a timeout taken here. By Washington.
Unleash your inner rock star. Guitar Hero World Tour. Play with a guitar or expand to the band. Rated T for Teen.
What's up? Stuart Scott with the Sports Center right now. Up next on ESPN, Steve Young and Emmitt Smith join me for the GMC Sierra postgame show to break down tonight's game. And don't miss Boomer's interview with John McCain and Barack Obama, only on Sports Center and only after the game. Mike?
Thank you, Stuart. Look forward to seeing you guys post-game. All the complete recap, and after that, NFL primetime. So football fans on the West Coast, plenty of Week 9 wrap-up is ahead. Trey and the guys have that coming up. First and goal after the Redskins called timeout. They have one remaining. Campbell had nothing to go to, so tried to swing it to the outlet. Portis, who couldn't catch it. It was incomplete. This drive kept alive, as we mentioned earlier, by the helmet-to-helmet contact. James Farrior on Jason Campbell. You see he's leading with that helmet. Mike Tomlin, not only on the play, not only during the timeout, continued the conversation with Carl Sheffers, the referee, who finally came and said, look, well, number one, you got to get back. And number two, here's the explanation. When you look at it on film, by the book, it's the right call. I feel like the Steelers think that they are being singled out, and they feel like they're always the ones getting the flags. But it is consistent around the league. We have no dog in the fight. Portis up the middle to the 6. And you have an interesting choice to keep in the back of your mind here if you're Washington. If you don't get in on this play, you need the field goal.
You kick the field goal. You make it a 23-9 game, 2 touchdowns behind. You're going to need 3 scores no matter what. So if you got to take 3, you take it right here.
And we've seen coaches this year think, well, I'm down here. Am I going to get down here again? You keep the game extended as long as possible.
You can always get caught up in the emotion, but you got to understand the score, and you want to make it from a 3-score game to a 2-score game. That's simple. You're going to need 3 scores to get back in this ball game or get the lead in the ball game.
I pick up the tempo, too, because you only have one timeout. Here's the third down. Campbell taking off. Can he get there? Yes. Touchdown. Polamalu says challenge it right away.
Solves their problem with the field goal.
I don't know. It's where the ball is when his knee hits, and the Steeler defenders are telling their coach, flag this baby. No, he's a yard short.
Not even
a yard short.
It's like Vinny Testaverde's phantom touchdown against the Seahawks many years ago.
At the Meadowlands.
Yes.
Tomlin's got the flag in hand.
Well, that's not a score.
And he's challenged it. So this will be challenged, and it'll be 4th and goal at the 1. Does the defender touch him to the ground? Yes, he pushes him down. I think he pushed him in the back to knock him down. We'll have to check that one more time. Does Kiesel get his hands on him?
Pittsburgh is challenging the ruling on the field of a touchdown. We'll review the play.
If Campbell went down under his own volition and then rolled into the end zone, it would not be deemed a tackle.
Tonight, Coin Local 6 takes you back.
NFL referee, 9 years as an official, is still looking. And what we pointed out during timeout, 99 Brett Kiesel, does he get the back of Campbell's jersey? Yes, he does. So Campbell will be deemed to be put down by the defender, I would guess, inside the 1 at about the half-yard line.
I'm going to say about 18 inches short, because if he didn't touch him, he could slide in. Because he did not slide, he dove.
If that happens, and now you have, I know you need 3 scores, but now you're tantalizingly close to the goal line.
Good question.
What happens? Do you take the field goal or do you go for the touchdown?
Okay,
presuming that they rule that was a legal tackle.
This is when coaches earn their money in the National Football League. This they call it's a little bit outside the box. When they were back there at the 8-9 yard line, no question you kick the field goal.
Right.
But now you're inside the 1, like I said, probably about 18 inches from the goal line. This may be one you're going to have to try to score a touchdown.
But what would you do?
I would try to score the touchdown. But I don't win or lose games anymore. We walk out here winners tonight.
Jim Zorn won a bunch of games as a National Football League quarterback. Threw 107 touchdowns, starring for Seattle with Steve Largent. Steve Largent now represents the cellular telecommunications industry here in Washington, D.C. I spoke to Steve today, and he said it's been great. He's been reunited with his best friend. They remained close friends past their Seattle days for years, and they now live in the same area. Steve, the Hall of Fame wide receiver, former member of Congress.
The runner was touched prior to being down by contact. He's short of the goal line. The ball will be placed just inside the 1 yard line where it will be 4th down and goal to go.
Okay, so now the prologue is over.
Not charged with a timeout.
You would go for the touchdown.
I would go for the touchdown. You're that close.
Go for the touchdown.
Yeah. If you're backed up a little bit further, then you kick the field goal. Try to get a couple more possessions. Right now, you're this close. Go for it.
Well, they're going to go.
So it'll be 4th and goal for the Redskins. Remember, Washington only has 1 timeout. They've got a great big old fullback in Mike Sellers, his 9th year out of Walla Walla Community College. He's 280-plus pounds, number 45 for the Redskins.
If he doesn't carry the ball, he'll clear a hole the size of your driveway.
Of course, Casey Hampton on the nose at 325 pounds will have something to say about that.
4th and goal, Redskins have to score. Fake to Portis, they're going to throw for it. Incomplete. James Farrior broke it up. So the Redskins have done the less than expected in the play calling department in some of those situations this year, and it's worked for most of the year until there.
I would second guess that. That's easy to do, obviously, but you got the leading rusher in the NFL, Jaws. Clinton Portis, the #1 rusher in the entire NFL.
Nothing there. They actually come backside to Lorenzo Alexander, number 79, who is normally a defensive tackle. Not exactly the kind of guy you want to have as your primary receiver on 4th and 1 with the game on the line.
Credit Dick LeBeau and the Steeler defense yet again. I mean, there you go, Jaws. The guy who lines up on offense only every once in a while out there. Makes the play. Now, safety does make it a 2-possession game, so you attack here from the 1. Willie Parker just gets it out. Oh, that was close. The safety would have made it a 15-point game, and that's 2 scores with the 2-point conversion.
I think the Zornado needs to be redeemed by a safety here. Because all of his coaches
that was
call him
close
Z-man.
because once again, the Skins had penetration. There was contact in the backfield. Marcus Washington just couldn't get there quick enough, or else it would have been a safety for the Redskins.
Yeah, Cornelius Griffin stood up the left guard, Chris Kaomeatu, who's had an ankle injury, has missed a couple of practices, I beg your pardon, this week. Brad Parker again. He gets out past the 1-yard line, close to the 2. Rocky McIntosh the tackle. 6 minutes left. You know, guys, I mentioned Dick LeBeau and the Steeler defense, and then another job they've done tonight. They may be back on the field here in a minute. And Polamalu and all those guys get the attention year after year. And even London Fletcher, playing defense for the Redskins tonight, had a year with Dick LeBeau in Buffalo when they were both in Buffalo. And he said, man, that guy has seen it all in his half-century in the NFL. Back to the Eisenhower administration, if you will. They said if you draw it up on offense, he's got an answer for it.
He's got an answer. He can answer anything you throw at him. You're prepared. And boy, LeBeau's just a genius on that side of the ball.
3rd and 9. Pressure on Leftwich. Incomplete. Intended for Holmes, and they'll punch from out of their own end zone with 5:27 to go.
I'm totally breathless on this. I saved up all day to ask you who was the president when Dick LeBeau first broke into the league.
Where you going to?
That's where I was going, and then you just give me the Eisenhower administration. I am done for the night. That's it. I'm done. I was going to say Dwight David Eisenhower, and you anticipated that. Talk about presaging all night long.
Is that the thing that you were burying me in the meeting? I got you on one. Thanks.
Yes.
Cover your notes next time. A flop job by the punter Berger. Randall returning to the 31, so only a minute runs off the clock, and Washington gets the ball back. A return of 9, a net of 29. Just put some perspective here, guys, on Dick LeBeau over this half-century in the NFL. 14 seasons a player with the Lions, still tied for 7th all-time career picks in the league. 36th season in coaching. He was the Bengals head coach unsuccessfully for 3 years, then came back to Pittsburgh. Since he's been back, every year their defense has been ranked in the top 10. And given his injury, or his career with the interceptions, plus what he's done, bringing that zone blitz into the NFL, Ron, if there's not a place in the Pro Football Hall of Fame for Dick LeBeau, then why do we honor the best of all-time contributors to the game in camp?
Couldn't agree with you more. His contribution to the game has been absolutely incredible.
William Gay was injured on that punt return for the Steelers, so they're checking on William on the field. While they do that, we'll step out for a moment.
Well, when you come into Fidelity for guidance, you talk about your goals, review your investments.
Sonny and Sam probably played against Dick LeBeau, right?
Yeah,
probably, yeah.
Could be. Could very well be. There's Sonny. Saw him before the game, smoking a cigar out here right behind us.
I think Riggo's sitting behind him, right? John Riggins back there. Right?
Riggins back up there in the booth.
That's John.
The ESPN affiliate here in the nation's capital. Carrying the Redskins game on Redskin Radio. Blitz coming from Anthony Madison. And Campbell able to get it to Portis to the 21. Being near first down yards for the NFL's leading rusher, Portis, tonight. It has been more through the air than on the ground. They shut his ground game down. 13 carries, 51 yards. He is 64 as a receiver tonight. Campbell to Cooling. Farrior tackle at the 13, and the Redskins in no huddle mode the rest of the way.
You're going to have to score quickly. They understand that part, but you got to get the score first.
Deflected and incomplete. Intended for James Thrash. They wanted the flag on William Gay. Went right back in. It wasn't coming. You know, when we mentioned Dick LeBeau in that regard, I don't want to slight Tom Moore and Monty Kiffin, all-time great assistant coaches, still at the top of their game.
Jim Johnson.
Yeah, Jim Johnson in Philadelphia, exactly.
So what are we going to establish? A wing in the Hall of Fame
That's right.
for guys of a certain age?
Yeah, you know
who've
what?
been innovative and are not going to get in any other way.
If you get to the Hall for contributions to the game, you don't have to be a head coach or a great player.
Fair.
There are a lot of other ways.
That's fair.
The Pro Basketball Hall of Fame did a great thing honoring contributors to the game over the years. That would be a good way to honor those guys, if not under the traditional coach or player route. Blitz coming from William Gay. Couldn't get there in time. But Santana Moss now back in the game. Couldn't hang on as Campbell was knocked down.
Disappointing night for him, for Jason Campbell.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a big stage for Jason Campbell. He comes in here without any interceptions at all, and the Redskins look like one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the NFC, and they don't do anything at all tonight. They really don't on offense. The Steelers shut them down. The Steelers have the #1 defense, but the Redskins have the #5 defense. You know, so they expect defense, and Campbell does not live up to the billing tonight.
They've knocked him out of his rhythm with their blitz schemes. Here they come again. They're coming off the edge of corner blitzes.
Can Portis beat the blitz the other way? That's the one thing about the Steelers. When they blitz so often, as Tyrone Carter was the guy there, they've got something behind it to cover them up. They never end up getting exposed for that huge play.
You know, they're safe blitzes. You know, and they'll bring 5. They'll keep that safety in center field. And they're so instinctive. They react to the football. Here, look at this coming off the corner. That's William Gay. He's a corner. It's a corner cat. He's coming out of coverage. You throw the ball out in the flat. You think, okay, you got Portis one-on-one, yet there's 3 Steelers there to make the play. They blitz, but they're safe blitzes.
Now, it wouldn't be popular, but this is where you kick the field goal to keep the game alive at 23-9.
I agree. Then you go to the onside kick.
And the time management looks like the first game of the year against the Giants for the Redskins. You don't let the play clock get down to 1, down 17. Doesn't matter. Sack 7 of the night. Lawrence Timmons out of Florida State with an exclamation point on an evening defined by the Steeler defense.
The 2 4th-down plays that the Redskins have faced in the last 5 minutes, both were completely blown up by the Steelers.
Yeah.
Completely, utterly.
Here, you're going to have 2 defenders, Timmons and Taylor, clean at the quarterback. That's breaking down your pass protection schemes. Very few guys do it as well as
I came here tonight. I was going to wax rhapsodic about Jim Zorn. I had all sorts of material about what an interesting and terrific choice of coach he was, given how all the bigger names were out there, and I can't do it because they're losing the game, and the Steelers on the 4th-down plays are just blowing them up. He's done very well, though, hasn't he?
It's a learning experience.
Yes.
7 sacks tonight by 6 different Steelers. Willie Parker with a short gain on 1st down. Steelers defense tonight.
Meet me at the quarterback. It's been that kind of night. Lamar Woodley, here's the pick. First one in 9 games. Can't get it in, backed up. Trying to throw to a defensive tackle. Got to question that design.
Here's what the Steelers do tonight. The Steelers reassert themselves in the conversation as a Super Bowl team. It's a very big win on the road in the NFC East. They are back in the picture, and on SportsCenter, they're not going to be also played yesterday.
Well, with this defense, they can win any football game. I don't care who your quarterback is, who your running backs are. This is a dominant
But I mean,
defense.
Tennessee's ahead of them.
Timeout taken by the Redskins, and you see Dan Rooney, his dad, the late Art Rooney, purchased the team for $2,500 in 1933. Now it's among the flagship franchises in the league, worth almost $1 billion. The chief, Art Sr., founded this franchise in the early 30s, team president, till handing the reins over to Dan in 75, who ran the team till 2002. Art and his 5 sons, it's been part of the story around the Steelers. The Rooney family owning racetracks in Florida and New York. There's gambling that intersects with NFL policy, plus there's not complete control of the team, a percentage that's requisite of what the NFL would like. So there have been a couple of opportunities to see what would happen going forward. Stanley Druckenmiller, the founder of Duquesne Capital Management, was going to be interested in purchasing a portion of the team, but took himself out of the running. Many around football hope that the Rooney family, however it shakes out, will stay in control of this franchise. It's one of the constants of the NFL, like watching games on TV on Sunday afternoons. Big throw by Leftwich, incomplete, penalty marker down.
The percentage is 30%. At the moment, none of the Rooney brothers own more than 16%.
Right.
Offside, number 64, defense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
So everybody sort of watches from the sidelines. The Rooney family is not talking about this. Dan Rooney is not talking about this, but everybody sort of watches and wonders, do you try to buy out one of your brothers to get from 16 to 32%? Do you try to buy them all out? How does Dan Rooney enable himself to keep the team, to pass it along to his son, you know, and keep the Rooneys alive? I mean, there are the Maras and the Rooneys and the Hallis families, you know, the Hunt families. They've been here for forever and ever and ever. You don't want to see it go to somebody else to build condos in the middle of the stadium.
You mentioned the 5 sons of the chief, the late Art Rooney Sr., owning 16%, each. That's 80%. The other 20 owned by the family of the late John McGinley. Another marker down as Leftwich goes down. Always the nicest people to see anytime you see Dan Rooney, who's at the stadium every day, and the players.
6 men on the line of scrimmage, offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Really love, enjoy, and appreciate being in his company.
Class people. You know, whenever we go to Pittsburgh and spend time around their complex, you just enjoy sitting and talking to them. Just quality people. Care about the game.
The one thing that Dan Rooney was worried about, and they have shut down all conversation about the transfer of ownership.
Sure.
But he was worried that it would be talked about so much it would have an adverse effect on the players. The last time we were in Pittsburgh, he said it has had no adverse effect on the players.
Antoine Randall just dancing out of bounds. It was well covered by the Steelers special teams.
Dancing. Maybe Jason Taylor could give him some tips, and he too could be on Dancing with the Stars next year.
They hope to get Taylor back after the bye week that is coming up for the Redskins, with the Cowboys coming on in here. And all the division games in the NFC East here in Washington for the Redskins the rest of the way. They've gone to the Giants and lost in the kickoff of the 08 season. Won at Dallas by 2, then won at Philadelphia the very next week by 6. And here is the rest of the way.
Their ats are not the hardest ats in the history of mankind. Well, a win tonight would have set them up.
That short trip out of the Beltway over here to play the Ravens is going to be a tough one. John Harbaugh done a very good job. This team will be a game behind the Steelers atop the AFC North. In a couple of minutes, Devin Thomas, the 2nd-round pick, rookie out of Michigan State. After he was drafted, his dad, a 15-year machinist at Ford, decided to retire. Hoping his son will have a big, strong career in the league. Campbell's last pass before the 2-minute warning, intended for Randall, who slipped down and incomplete. Well, we'll sneak one more in. 2:01 to go.
Mike, you're showing that NFC East. I'm sure Philadelphia Eagles are happy to see the Redskins go down. This one tightens up their position right now.
Oh, you mean Philadelphia, the city of champions?
The city of champions.
Why would you mention Philadelphia?
Well, congratulations to the Phillies. They follow the soul.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you for the obligatory soul mention.
Don't you think it was nice that the Soul had the parade in Philadelphia just to set the tone?
To warm it up.
To warm it up.
The Arena Championship and the Major League Baseball Championship. It was good planning exercise.
Yeah, they had a few more people than the Soul did, I might.
Clinton Portis will get a 1st down. He's taken down. Be careful there. And James Farrior, and counting tackles tonight. Farrior's had as many as anybody.
That is a 2-minute warning.
And we're closer to the voting in Dixville Notch, New Hampshire. Starts in 16 minutes at midnight. It's been a night for the defense for the black and gold.
Okay, odds are if you're one of the people in America with a pickup truck, it ain't a luxury, it's a way of life. And chances are you're not making your money pushing a pencil or hand modeling. You're actually working for every dollar and need your truck. So at a time when gas is more expensive than bourbon and you got to get more done in less time, it'd be nice if there was a truck that had more to offer than just payload, towing, and mileage numbers. Well, the Eagle has landed. Say hello to the all-new 09 F-150. It ain't just about numbers and brute strength. It's about doing things no truck has ever done before. It can help load cargo, find lost tools, connect you to the internet, squeeze more out of a gallon of gas, and keep your trailer from shaking like a plate full of Jell-O. This thing is 5,000 pounds of, hey, can I give you a hand with that? And oh yeah, guess what? Towing, payload, mileage, nobody's got better numbers. The truck game has officially changed, and your unfair advantage is right here. It's not just a new truck, it's a new F-150.
Every Sunday, when America goes to church, we go to war.
The game is our religion, and every religion has a judgment day.
Blitz the League 2, MSRP $39.99, rated mature.
I need to know that I can trust you.
And you don't?
It'd be a pretty cold person who didn't want revenge for the death of someone he loved.
Quantum of Solace, rated PG-13, November 14th.
Stuart Scott with the Sports Center right now. Up next on ESPN, Emmitt Smith and Steve Young join me for the GMC Sierra postgame show. And you do not want to miss 2 one-on-one interviews. Chris Berman with Barack Obama and John McCain. It's only on ESPN, and it's next on ESPN. And Mike Tirico, my glove is here, but I'm not wearing it.
You won't need it in Arizona next week, Stuart, but after that, I have 6 letters for you.
Buffalo?
Buffalo. Would that be 7? 7 letters.
Okay.
Well, it'd be 6 because the F's are the same letter.
Thank you, Tony. Nice save. Brad Lynch. Nice save. Murray Dillell.
English major, you know how it works.
Knew you were good for something, Tony.
The Steelers defense, guys, has not allowed a Redskin touchdown to this point. They've allowed 9 touchdowns in 8 games. Eluding the would-be sack by Farrior.
And no one touched him.
Complete to Thomas.
You may want to try a blocking James Farrior.
Even in the games that the Steelers have lost, they were very close, low-scoring games, right, to both the Giants and the Eagles.
By 9 to Philadelphia, by 7 to the Giants, and you see that 9 touchdowns through half the season, the fewest allowed in the NFL. Think about the touchdowns they gave up. 1 in each of their losses, and Mike Tomlin, the 36-year-old head coach, going to improve his record through a season and a half to 16-8.
And as I said before about Jim Zorn basically coming out of the blue and under a lot of scrutiny this year for inheriting a playoff team, Mike Tomlin given a very, very good team. He had been a defensive coordinator, I think, for 1 year at Minnesota. Correct. He was off the board. Nobody thought he was going to get this job. The Steelers followed a time-honored tradition of hiring young coaches from the defensive side that others had not heard of, and Tomlin has done terrifically well.
2nd and 10. Portis picked up Farrior. Randall, gain of 9. Well, you talk about leading the league in defense again. They did last year. They are through halfway point of this year. And no team has led the NFL in fewest yards allowed each of 2 straight years since Minnesota did it, 88-89. But talk about the first 2 years of a head coach. Go back to John Rouch with the Raiders. Did it in the AFL.
That
was a 9-team AFL 41 years ago, 42 years ago now, 66 and 67.
That's what the Steelers do. Tomlin's so young. Chuck Noll was very young. Bill Cowher was very young, both in their 30s, both on the defensive side. Coached forever. And won Super Bowls, both of them.
Cooley catch inside the 20, keep the clock turning. We're in the final 40 seconds.
Well, the Steelers won't be happy giving up these garbage yards right now. It's, you know, it's a fact. That's what they are.
Knock them down to number 2
1 ranking. Yeah.
Campbell's pass broken up by Polamalu, incomplete. Before we get out of here, guys, you know, the value, as you said, Ron, of having a backup. Roethlisberger goes out at halftime, and Byron Leftwich comes in, leads 2 touchdown drives, proves to be the big difference in this game. And for a guy who's from this area, who came here a couple of years ago with Jacksonville and lost, but played very well in a 36-30 loss. You know, offensive player of the year as a senior. George Michaels, the old sportscaster who you've known for years, Tony. He was one of George's all-Metro players.
Sure. The Washington Post had him all-Met a few times.
Yep. Big night for him. Pick thrown by Campbell, his 2nd of the evening and of the season. And Tyrone Carter brings the proceedings to a conclusion.
And everybody left in this stadium is waving a terrible towel.
Isn't that amazing?
They're all here from Pittsburgh.
Just incredible. Wow. Do they travel well?
Don't they do this for hockey when the Penguins play the Caps?
The Penguins used to have the most expensive seat in the NHL. So you would drive 3 hours, 45 minutes, 4 hours to the Capitol Center or downtown the Verizon Center, and you'd get a ticket when the Penguins played the Capitals, and it would be a sea of Penguins fans. And there'd be some of the few sellouts of the year. Certainly weekday night sellouts. They were the only ones.
Well, Jason Campbell had a very good first half of the season. The second half does not start very well. He and the Redskins will lick their wounds, and they get a week off, and they haven't had one. They started before anybody else. Their bye comes at the end of the bye window. They'll need the week off. Just the small things, like Troy Polamalu, the safety, as the extra guy back there in the victory formation. That's the way to do it. I want a guy who's going to tackle back there.
You mean not a wide receiver, Mike?
I never understand when I see that in the victory formation, Ron.
I'm on board with you.
23-6. Convincing win for the Steelers. Get their first win over an NFC East team this year. And the Giants have a larger lead now in the NFC East.
Well, the Steelers are a team fueled by that defense.
You know, when the Steelers played the Giants and it was a good, close game, you had the feeling that maybe those two could be Super Bowl teams.
Michelle Tafoya.
Well, we were just talking about the fact that after the game, Byron Leftwich threw a football to a guy in a Washington Redskins jersey. Who was that?
That was a guy named LV that used to play with me in Marshall. He was the second wide receiver next to Moss, and he's from up this way, so I ain't really seen him in a while. I seen him right there, and it was good to see him.
Listen, we saw Ben Roethlisberger head up the tunnel before halftime. We knew something was up. When did you know you were coming in?
I didn't really know until halftime. They just told me, get ready. And then when I came back out, I knew we was getting the ball. And I was just ready to play, man. You know, I've been waiting on this moment for a while. I know I can play in this league. I'm healthy for the first time in a while. And I'm just happy that I got an opportunity to play today.
Yeah, they always say you're one play away from coming in when you're the backup. But why do you think you were able to you know, get those two drives going, the big 50-yard pass? Why was the ball able to move in the second half the way it wasn't in the first?
First and foremost, I got a good football team around me. And I just wanted to get the ball in my guys' hands. I mean, we played a good football team today, and I was just trying my best when those guys protected, just try to get the ball in my playmakers' hand and let them make plays.
Can't ignore the defense. Jason Campbell's first 2 interceptions of the season. You guys shut down Clinton Portis. What's it like to have that kind of defense on your team?
I practice against those guys every day. You know, I'm the scout team quarterback, so I know how good they are. And Coach LeBeau, man, he's been good for so long, and he's always, as a defensive coordinator, he always give your team an opportunity to win.
So more praise for Coach Dick LeBeau. Thanks and congratulations, Byron.
Thanks.
Michelle, thank you. The Steelers are 6-2. They play the Colts in San Diego the next 2. Washington heads to a week off at 6-3. It's been a thrill to be in the nation's capital on the eve of some history in our country, and we'll see how long Ben Roethlisberger's out for the Steelers. In the interim, a D.C. guy came home, got the job done. With Tony Kornheiser, Ron Jaworski, Michelle Tafoya, our great Monday Night Football crew, Mike Tirico. Good night from FedEx Field. Thanks for watching this presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Niners Cardinals next Monday night. See you in Arizona.
ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.
No matter who you vote for.
I'm just going to call them, I don't know, Ben Leftwich, Byron Roethlisberger. Will that work? Obviously, the backup did much better. Leftwich 7-10, 129 yards, and his passer rating for the half was 145.8. Big Ben's passer rating 15.1 in this game, 50 yards passing for Roethlisberger. Steve, you know what it's like when the quarterback goes down in the middle of the game. You're the backup. You're on the bench. You haven't played a lot, and you got to warm up, and you got to compete and be successful because you're playing a good team immediately. What's the hardest thing about that?
Well, not to overplay your role. In other words, you get out there, you want to do something, you haven't been out there much, you want to make an impression, especially Byron's played a lot of football, so it's not like, you know, he wants to come in and act like a rookie. He wants to come in and make something happen. So sometimes you can overdo things, and I thought, you saw that one play where he dropped up to Molde War. He was really conscious of his positioning, how he's throwing the football, his footwork. He looked, I mean, like that was the play I was mentioning earlier. Just a lot of veteran moves that he made. He has that long wind-up throw everyone wants to talk about, but coming into relief seemed like the perfect antidote for a slow start to the Pittsburgh Steelers offense had.
Now, when a guy is playing like this, he's playing in Washington, D.C., but it is his hometown. Does that help or hurt, especially if you're not the starter?
Well, I mean, getting on the field is going to help just because you probably had 50 tickets or 100 tickets or how many you've got all your fans and friends. And so I think that makes a big difference. But the bottom line is just getting in the game. When you're used to playing like Byron played as a starter in Jacksonville for a long time, it's got to be hard to dress up and not play. So all of a sudden you're in the game. I think whether you're home or away, obviously home's a little sweeter just to get on the field.
Also sweet to have Willie Parker back with the Redskins, back with the Steelers. Parker had missed the last 4 games with injury. A touchdown machine. This was his first touchdown that he scored since week 1 of the season. Emmett, when you haven't played and you come in and produce that effectively, what's it feel like for a running back?
Well, it's a great feeling just to get back on the football field, number one. But for Willie Parker, it meant a lot more for the Pittsburgh Steelers to have him back in the lineup than anything else. As you saw the Steelers trying to run the ball tonight, the Washington Redskins did a lot of run blitzes. They played man-to-man outside, and they dared Ben Roethlisberger to throw.
Play today, and I just tried to get the ball into my playmakers' hands.
Coach,
are you surprised at all?
Appropriate that you were back in D.C. to come in.
Yeah, but like I always said, man, I grew up a diehard Redskins fan. I don't really like to play the Redskins, because you want to win, but at the same time, I never really want to see the Redskins lose neither. So, it's difficult, but at the same time, the Redskins are a good football team. The Redskins are a good football team, and to get an opportunity to go out there and let everybody know pretty much I'm healthy again and get an opportunity to go out there and play was exciting for me.
Byron, you weren't the least bit surprised you played well, are you?
No, I'm not.
How hard is it? You don't get reps during the week?
That's the only tough part. That's the only tough part, and I talk to Ben about it all the time, man. I just be like, man, it is the toughest thing I ever been through because you have no control over the game. I'm so nervous on the sideline. I'm more nervous on the sideline than I ever will be in the game. And because you have no control. When you're not out there, you have no control of the outcome of the football game. So it was just good just to be out there, and it was good to be home.
Has it helped a bit that he hasn't practiced a lot on Wednesday, so maybe you get a few extra reps, or that just can't compare to the game speed?
It can't really compare because I don't think we ran no plays the day that we ran on Wednesday. And that's the tough part. Sometimes you don't get no reps of these plays, man. You just out there and you got to do the best job you can, understanding that, you never ran these plays before. And for me, it's not like I've been here all through the summer and OTAs and, I truly don't know the offense yet. I just got here late in the preseason, so that's what make it tough. That's what make it tough, not getting no reps, not really getting the opportunity to practice our offense. Week in and week out, I'm running. I was Jason Campbell this week, The week before, I was the quarterback. I was Eli Manning. So it was just good to go out there and have an opportunity to play, even though I didn't get no reps.
Santonio said it's tough to adjust your ball. It gets there in a hurry.
Well, got to work on that.
When you signed with the Steelers, did you notice this game on the schedule, and did you think that you'd be a part of it the way that you were?
No, when I signed with the Steelers, I wanted to be a part of a good football team. I wanted to be a part. That was my whole thing. Like, I wanted to be a part of a good football team, understanding if I get an opportunity to play, I want to have a chance to be successful. And that's all. That's the only way I looked at it. I came in here. We all know Ben's the guy. Ben's the quarterback of this football team, and I knew, hey, I was going to be there in case something happened. Something happened today. I got an opportunity to step up, and we made enough plays to win the football game.
Anything else? Okay.
Tell me about the game in college. You guys playing against each other. There was something. Neither one of you scored a touchdown, but you caught a touchdown.
I caught a touchdown pass. Me and Ben played in college, and it was 2 high-powered offenses, and it was supposed to be one of those 50 to 54 games, and neither one of us threw a touchdown. Only touchdown was me catching a touchdown. And anytime I'm catching a touchdown, it's a miracle. I was wide open.
You got up there. Did it help? He said he was happy to see you come in because guys like to see guys they knew in college come in. Did you feel more comfortable knowing that he was the guy who was going to be in the back of the row?
Yeah, it was a situation where I knew Ben and Charlie. Okay. Like, I knew Ben and Charlie, and when Charlie went down, I got a call, and it was more like, man, this is an opportunity where I have a chance to be a part of a good football team. And, that's the only thing you can ask for nowadays is each and every Sunday, being a part of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I got an opportunity to win. We got an opportunity to win the football game, and that's what really brought me to Pittsburgh, and that's why I tell you, man, I enjoyed myself being there. Coach Tomlin is one hell of a coach, and like I said, man, I'm just happy to be a part of this thing.
I'm sure you asked before I came in, but hitting that first pass, how much did that help getting your rhythm going, especially a long way?
Well, I wish I could have hit him in stride, to be honest with you. You know, I mean, those are the type of ones that it could have came back to hurt us if we didn't score on that drive. And, you know, those are the type of ones. I was trying to dodge a guy kind of grabbed me, and I knew Nate was by the guy, and I just tried to get it up to him. And fortunately for us, you know, he made the play.
How much is having experience coming into an environment like this on the road, halfway through the game? It's not an easy situation.
No, it's not easy. It's never easy to really just go in there after, you know, a half of football. And that's why I came out so early during halftime. I was like, if I'm going to play, I got to get loose. And that's the tough part. I mean, at a drop of a hat, you might have to go in that football game. And it's just a new situation for me. You know, it's a new situation for me this year. And it's something that, you know, I just got to make sure I'm ready for.
Good that you had a whole half. I mean,
yeah.
Sometimes you're going in on the next play, right?
Yeah, because it has happened before in the preseason where they was like, just go in. And I just grabbed my helmet and just ran in and didn't really know no plays. I just was out there in my first preseason game. So, man, we just got good players. We got good coaching. And they give us an opportunity to win. And you can't ask for nothing else.
You have a lot of people here tonight, Tom?
Only 44.
How many of them were upset at the outcome, right?
Huh?
How many of them were upset at the outcome?
Oh, none of them better not be upset. Yeah, but we Redskins fans, when we don't play each other.
Byron, is there anything special just with this being a big night, tomorrow being a big day for this town in terms of the presidential election?
Yeah, I think I seen some on ESPN said if we win, that means Barack Obama gonna win. So, congrats, Barack. Congrats.
How excited do you feel to come and do this at home?
I mean, I'm excited. I think I'm gonna be more excited about it like tomorrow. When I got out there, you don't really have time to get excited. You just, hey, let's go out here and play. And B.A., he told me, he said, hey, I'm going to let you wing this ball around. And I said, hey, man, let's just have fun. Let's just have fun one way or another. We're going to have fun, and we worry about the outcome when the outcome comes. And we just made enough plays today. But it's just B.A., I'm just thankful B.A. had enough confidence in me to just call any and everything. And you know, it was some mistakes made out there by me. I felt a little rusty here and there, but that was expected.
I said, did you, you're the first game at RFK that you ever went to. What do you remember about that game and who played?
I remember sneaking into RFK. I used to run through the fence. I had a guy that used to work the ticket thing, and he said, if you run through the fence, I can't chase you because I got to stay here by the fence. So I would walk through the thing like I got a ticket, give him eye contact, and you know the RFK we used to push those little things where they make count.
Yeah.
I would push that bad boy and run to the biggest crowd I could see, you know, and it was a Cowboy game, and I just remember the bottom of the seats just shaking like bleachers. I just remember everybody jumping up and down, and that's the moment that I have. I don't know what year it was really. I was young though. I was young. It was very cold. And I just remember that the end zone and the corners of the end zone just shaking like a high school basketball game.
And what's your first thought when you have to start that second half with that?
Just go out there and play football. You know, go out there and play football. That wasn't a difficult situation for me to go out there and get in the huddle and be on the football field. The difficult situation for me is being on the sideline, not having really no outcome. I'm telling you, I'm as nervous as I've ever been playing a game of football on the sideline when I'm not in there. When I got in there, I kind of relaxed. I was cramping up. I don't know how I'm cramping up in the cold weather, but it was just exciting. It was just so exciting to be out there.
Little nerves going when you hit the 50-yarder?
No nerve. I've been playing this game of football too long to ever get nervous on the football field. I'm never gonna be nervous on the football field, and been doing this for too long to be nervous on the football field. I was more anxious and just wanted opportunities to make plays, and B.A. gave me those opportunities.
Hey, Byron, what does it mean to you to play in this
My
stadium?
man, what's up, man?
What does it feel to be in this stadium? I mean, you've been here before and had, you know, pretty good.
Yeah, I think we all know, you know, me being from here, man, you grow up a diehard Redskins fan. You know, I remember, man, I'm telling y'all, man, my family was diehard Redskins fans. I'm talking about my brother crying when the Redskins lose. I mean, crying tears. And, you know, when You know, it's just crazy, man. Mark Mosley kicking field goals, and we cut the TV off for the game winner. You know, it was like that in our house. And we grew up, we grew up diehard Redskins fans. And, you know, as a player, to be honest with you, when you go dreaming at night and dreaming if one day I could be in the NFL, it was always with a Redskin hat on, you know, that dream. But, you know, that's not an opportunity. It's just happy to be, you know, in the NFL. And just, he better not be. He better not be. The last thing he's doing is crying, if you know my brother.
So many times this year you had to be up and down. You thought maybe you were going into games. Talk about how you kept yourself focused.
I just always told Ben, hey, when you really hurt, let me know. Because I'm not going to be running and getting my helmet and running back. If I told him, Jay, just keep me informed, whatever it is. And he would look at me sometimes, and sometimes he'd be like, he'd give me that look like, hey, get ready. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't really know what was going on. I just went into halftime, and Coach Tomlin came and grabbed me and smiled and said, let's go, fool. And I said, what you mean? He was like, get ready, you going. And I said, well, hell, if I'm going, I need to go get warm. I don't need to hear no halftime speech or nothing. And that's why I ran out there so early, just trying to get warm.
Final question. Hey, Byron, it looked to me like you were pretty light on your feet. And I know you don't want to have inactivity, but the time that you've had off and the ankle problems that you've had, do you feel like it's stronger than it?
All right, Byron Leftwich from the Washington, D.C. area. He said he had to get 44 tickets. A reporter asked him, do you think that they were any of your fans who were upset? He said, they better not be. I mean, even though they are Redskins fans, they're Byron Leftwich fans first. And you
happy
can't,
for the guy,
you
man.
can't help but
I'm
be
happy for him. The way things ended in Jacksonville last year in Atlanta didn't look too promising for him. And now he's got a shot to come back in the NFL and really play a pretty good role behind Ben Roethlisberger, where you know you're not going to play a whole lot, but when you do play, it's going to be meaningful.
And this is exactly the role that a backup quarterback is supposed to fill in the National Football League, correct?
Yes, come in, do your job, make sure that you don't turn the ball over.
Yeah, we knew like good road teams basically go to the Super Bowl, and now we're 4-1, and we came off a big loss that we thought we should have won, and I mean we just had to take it out on somebody, and the Redskins were up.
Redskins just happened to be in the way.
They were in the way.
Now I know with the loss that y'all had last week, what did Mike Tomlin do throughout the week to keep you guys, you know, motivated and hungry to come out and play the Redskins the way that you guys did tonight?
The thing about Emmett, he usually don't yell. He was very upset all week long. He yelling at us and just trying to get everybody in their right position and right place. And I knew he was still upset about the previous game. So we kind of like brushed the Giants off, and we just had to move forward. And like I said, we just had to take it out on somebody.
Willie, did you talk to Ben, or do you have a sense of his injury and how bad it is?
I don't think it's too bad. I think it's something he just like re-strained, tweaked it against his shoulder. So I really don't know if it's too bad, but I think he already had that injury before this year.
Did you get a chance to say anything to him about it after the game?
I did, but he's a man of no words. He always brushed me off.
Well, I thought you did a great job tonight carrying the ball, especially after not playing for 4 weeks and stepping in and having to be tackled and be around an aggressive defense like you were, and you didn't fumble the ball, which some guys will fumble if you have that much time off. So I thought you did a heck of a job.
An interesting thing here, for the third time this season you carried the ball at least 20 times. There's a cause and effect relationship. In those games, the Steelers are 3-0. Big Ben Roethlisberger started the game, didn't finish it. He was a #1 cheerleader on the sidelines, though, throughout the game as the Pittsburgh Steelers roll into the nation's capital and get a win. Pittsburgh beating down the Redskins.
The GMC.
Trying to get the Titans to look down the road at an unbeaten season, well, that might be easier than beating them.
I'm not worried about becoming overconfident and all those things associated with that.
we need to continue to improve to get better so we can win the next game. We have a tremendous challenge this week with the Bears and the things that they're doing. Yes, they lost their starter, but their backup led them to the Super Bowl a couple years ago. So we have a huge challenge. And the week will start Wednesday. It'll start off with the areas where we need to improve.
Each week's different. And, you know, next week we're going to have to try and find a way to win another game. So we've been doing it so far, and hopefully we can continue.
It's amazing. It's awesome. It's a good ride. The team's, you know, we're going out there each week, put Green Bay behind us, and move on to the next week now. So 8-0, it's great, but we're looking each week.
All right, the Titans are 8-0, right? And Jeff Fisher has a mustache, right?
Correct.
Coincidence?
I think not.
I think not.
And that is a man's mustache that he's got there. 8-0 Titans play 3 of their 4 November games on the road, and that's really the calling card of the best teams. Can you win on the road? Tough Bears team and tough Bears defense. We're 3 Titans wins and 3 Lions losses away from a Thanksgiving matchup of, and you'll watch this because it's Thanksgiving, 11-0 against 0-11, and if the tryptophan or tryptophan doesn't hit you,
right, the Lions may.
They might. I'm just saying. How good is Thanksgiving? Just eat turkey, take a nap. Who's the best team in the NFL? We've got the Giants, who do have that one slip up on a Monday night against Cleveland, or the perfect Titans. The answer coming later in the show.
Allen Iverson's first home game.
Week or not getting most of the reps in practice this week to be able to be effective against a very good defense on the road.
That's the tough thing. You get no reps. You know, like the backup get no reps during the week, and that's what make it tough. And I was a little rusty on a few things here and there. I missed a few things, but it wasn't nothing big enough to cost us.
Last question for you. I know you grew up in this area here. You went to high school near old RFK Stadium, grew up watching the Redskins, so you did this performance in front of 2 special audiences, old family and friends who may have been here in the stadium, and then the whole rest of the NFL who was watching, many of whom probably wrote you off mentally as a quarterback in this league.
A lot of guys forgot about me. You know, I know, this one thing I know, when I'm healthy, I can play in this league, and I'm healthy for the first time in a long time. You know, I'm just happy to get an opportunity. You know, I don't know. You never want, you know, to see Ben go down. But as I went down, I got an opportunity. I just tried to take advantage of it.
All right, Scott, thank you very much. And you have to be happy for Byron Leftwich there. Yeah. Meanwhile, the Redskins, TD.
For the press conference tomorrow, you know, potentially he was capable of going back in the game, but we went down the field with Leftwich there to start the second half. We'll just see how he is in the morning.
One of the things that happened to him is I think he just read and threw, and just, you know, he throws the ball so hard and he can get the ball out. It was a little different than what Ben was doing. Where Ben was kind of holding on a little bit, maybe waiting for a guy to break open. It seemed to me like Byron was just shooting it in there, and he had some success.
The Steelers win their 37th game on Monday Night Football, second most behind Miami in the AFC. Steve, we've seen the Cowboys quarterback go down, and Dallas is 1-2 since Romo went out, but they haven't scored more than 14 points a game. If Roethlisberger is out for a while, what did you see in Leftwich that tells you they can still win with this guy?
Look, I can tell the way Byron's walking around, strutting around on that field. He means to play. He still feels like he's a starter in the league. You can tell he has that attitude. And so he came into the game and wanted to prove himself. And you know, he made a lot of big throws. We know about the big windup, and we know about his mobility. We know that there are some things that he cannot do. But one of the things he can do is throw that football. And if he gets protected, I don't know where this protection came all of a sudden. I don't know if Ben, I wish Ben had a lot of this protection, but he made a lot of nice throws, and he made a big difference in this football game. And it seemed like the defense rallied even more, kept giving him the football, giving him a chance to play really good. To me, he can go win you 3 games in a row without too much trouble, so we'll see how that goes.
That defense rallied because they were just shutting down Clinton Portis, who had just been burning up the NFL. What did they do that stifled Portis so effectively?
Well, they did exactly what I expected them to do. They beat him up front with the front 3 guys, and James Harrison coming off one side, and then at times they dropped Troy Polamalu in there to stop the run. And the Redskins couldn't really get anything going. What the biggest surprise to me wasn't that Clinton Portis did not have 100 yards. I expected Clinton Portis to get about 50 or 60 yards at max, and that happened tonight. But the biggest surprise to me was Jason Campbell not being able to take advantage of the 8th man in the box, not being able to run the offense efficiently. He looked like he was struggling a little bit, trying to find the person to throw the ball to, and that to me was a big surprise.
You know, this is the first time all season that Clinton Portis did not have 20 carries. He only had 13 carries for 51 yards, but this shows you how good the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is. 22 of those 51 yards came on one run, and it was the first run all year that the Steelers had allowed that was at least 20 yards. It is Election Day in the nation's capital. George Bush packing up the White House. We should know by the end of today who's going to be moving in next. Who's moving in with us next? Coming up later on in SportsCenter, Willie Parker will join us here in the set to talk about what it's like